5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
They ain't never seen nothing like this before. Lit the room when I came through the front door. Ask me if I should overcome. What for? Train in the trees, please pardon my sycamore. Touch burning sands, cross lands, and stormy shore seasons in the year, yeah. Ain't no challenge for champions and chain no fear. Yeah, the champions here.
What's up, kiddos? What is up this morning? What an amazing morning it is to be alive. My voice is doing a little itsy better. A little itsy bit. It's still kind of rough. Still struggling from the event last Saturday. And I've been hyping that thing up, man. I've been hyping that thing up. If you have not seen the video of my speech at the rally, you absolutely must. You absolutely must. It was a whole bunch of fun. It was the Stop the Steal rally. That's been in the news, by the way. The Stop the Steal rally. It's been in the news. It's been in the news because we've been maligned, which we knew we would be. In fact, that was part of my speech. It was part of my speech, and if you haven't seen it, you must. You can go over to youtube.com/paleocrat. We've shared it, twice this week? We've shared it twice, I think. And you can watch the entire thing. I made a special video out of it. Even have it so that the howling part has this crazy color and everything that goes with it. It's a whole bunch of fun. But good morning, everybody, all across the world. I'm really grateful that you've tuned in yet again to this really amazing show, really professional. We're hoping today that there's no technical difficulties because we have a bunch of really great stuff for you. We do. We have a whole bunch of really great stuff for you. But before we do any of that, I may as well show you this. We do this every time. We do this every time so that there's no confusion, because sometimes there is a great deal, in fact, of confusion, and we don't want any of that. So here's the deal. You may be watching on YouTube. You may be watching on Periscope. You may be watching on Facebook or Twitch or DLive. It doesn't matter. You can be watching on any of those platforms, and we're even looking into more. But you may be looking around and wondering, I'm not seeing a lot of people. Where are they? It's because they're spread out. We got like 20 different channels bumping at the exact same time. So sometimes they congregate over in one place, or sometimes they're congregating in another. Most of the time, I find that people are going to youtube.com/paleocrat, or they're going to my Facebook page. That's at Jeremiah Bannister. And so those are two places that are pretty popular, as well as Holy Faith Media. And that's the biggest one. You know, and I don't know about for the people. I mean, I know that there are people who comment there, but I don't. When it comes to just raw numbers, we're talking big time. We're talking. That's the cool one, man. That's the big daddy. That is the grand poobah of all the different channels. But here's the deal: you may be watching on any of these. Doesn't matter. If you comment, it goes right here. Like, for example, Kashan Petgrave said there was no audio. He's talking about the beginning. I know. Well, that's not my fault. Well, it is my fault, but it's not that I had the audio off. It's that video is the looped video that is on paleocratdiaries.com, and there's no audio for Wix for that. I kind of hate that anyway, right? I kind of hate it when you go to a website and you click on it, and the very first thing is a bunch of audio going at you. You're like, whoa, what is this? I don't know if I even want to listen to that. Give me a chance, man. Give me a second. Let me ease into this website. And so that's just a loop, but I figured it'd be better than that still frame. You know what I'm saying? I figured it'd be better. And I mean, it's got a whole bunch. It's got a kind of a smorgasbord of stuff that I do. And so you can see that different places I've done speeches. It's kind of cool, man. Different places I've done speeches, different shows that I've done. My TV show, my old TV show on Local Access, that was on there. Clips from there, clips from the radio station a couple of the radio stations that I used to work for. And so you can see different clips, even funny paleo cheese and paleo naughty clips. So, but here's the thing. So, okay, so he commented from, where was he commenting from? Facebook? Where was he? Yeah, he's commenting from Facebook. And then you've got, oh, no. He's on YouTube. You've got Barbara on YouTube. She's commenting, hello from Wisconsin. Hello, Barbara. It is good to see you. Bethany is commenting from Facebook. She says, yo, happy Wednesday. Hope those vocal cords are healing up. Did you have some garlic and honey? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Well, I did. I had garlic and honey, in the ingredients of the Chinese restaurant I went to yesterday. I did. My mom was in town. I love it, by the way. Every time my mom's in town, I'm kind of a mama's boy, and by kind, I mean big time. I love my mom. Still call her mommy, not gonna lie. It's her name. As far as I'm concerned, that's just her name. It's not like a term of endearment. It's like, what's your mom's name? Mommy. But when I refer to her, I call her my mom. But when I'm speaking to her, she's mommy. I don't know. I don't think call her, hey, mom. I don't know about that. But she was in town. And we went out to go get some food. It's kind of weird. We had to wear the gloves, the glubby gloves, to make sure you ain't spreading around the Rona. You don't want to spread the Rona at the Chinese restaurant. That's for sure. They're good people, though. Good people, though. And, Fuji Buffet. I went there. It's a whole bunch of fun. So, no, but I should be. Some echinacea throat spray. I should be. Right? I should be better about this. Kashan says, hello from Canada. Let's see here. Let's see. Potato Man, hello. Good to see you. Is that D-Live? What is that, man? The little purple icon. I don't know. Can we zoom in on this a little bit? Yeah, I can do it a little easy. Okay, you guys see that? You have like the three red little icons there at the top, and then you got this purple one here. What is that exactly? What is that? Where are you posting from, man? Potato Nan. Ah, buddy. Yeah, Barbara. Gas company working in the area, no power, so hope my phone won't die. I hope so too, because we have a great show for you. You're gonna absolutely love it. Jorge over on Periscope said, excellent speech in Michigan. Enjoyed it very much. Thank you. Jorge, you are obviously the man. Obviously, dude. You are obviously the man. You obviously have remarkable talent. Just really, really, really great talent and skill. Super smart. You're probably very attractive. Most of our listeners are. It's true, man. I think it was a scientific study that proved it. It was. Brian says, good morning. Taking a chai tea latte straight to the dome. Oh, yeah, okay, I got my straw. And taking a knee for Jesus. Wolfpack Strong. Dude, you are the man with that. Wolfpack Strong, dude. Taking a knee for Jesus. You got it all. Straight to the dome. Good morning to you, man. Yeah. Another Facebook user. Hello from Brooklyn. So my point is, you can go and you can see that there are people. I don't know if they're even in the exact same Facebook page, because there's a whole bunch of Facebook pages. So there you go. But so no matter where you are, make sure you comment. It's going to be a whole bunch of fun. It's going to be a whole bunch of fun today. And of course, make sure to subscribe. Actually, I had this up. Let's see here. Let's do this one first. Okay. So as you can see, right there's the intro thing that we were playing earlier on the at the very beginning of the show. Okay, at the very beginning of the show, we were playing this. It's a whole bunch of clips. Whole bunch of clips here. Let's see here. What is it? There's me. Yeah, okay. Town Hall, skating with my daughter. That's Oral, the Adventures of Oral, college. So you can kind of get an idea for things I've done. Baptism, that's my son's baptism. So on, so on, so on. You can go here, and at the very top, I've mentioned this before. Okay? I've mentioned this before, and I'm just going to mention it right away at the outset of the show. First things first, we've made it easy for people to become members of the show. Okay, so if you like the show and you want to see the show continue, and you believe in our mission, and you like throwing the boys some bones, if that's what you want to do, you can do it right here. You can become a member right here. It says every bit helps, so we've made it easy. Even got a little piggy bank, see? Even got a little piggy bank. I even got a picture of you. We got a picture of you giving some money, and what happens to the show. You see that arrow? You see that arrow? That's what happens. That's what happens to the show whenever you donate money. It just goes better. Even better and better and better. So $5 a month, you become a bona fide member of the Paleo Naughty. It's totally true. Totally true. But it's more than that, guys. It's more than that, I got to tell you. So I don't know if I've ever actually shown this page, but I'm going to do it right now. Because I mentioned at the end of the show, I say that we have a donations page, interviews, and public speaking, right? And so here you can actually book, if you want to do an interview, you can book an interview with me just by going to paleocratdiaries.com on our service page. Right there. That's the old studio up in the attic years ago. It's my buddy Nathan, by the way. And right there, it's me doing a speech. And invite Jeremiah to speak to your school, church, club, or small group. It's trip plus lodging plus offer. And by the way, lodging, I don't mind staying with people who are organizing it. In fact, I prefer it. I prefer it. I prefer it because I'm all about the networking, right? And the communication, hanging out, having fun, okay? Talking late into the night, drinking some beer maybe. Maybe some of that Witch's Brew wine. We'll see about that. And so make sure to check that out. And the last thing over here you got to do is if you want to connect, I've said you can email. It's really easy. I actually got to change this because this has my previous email in there. Oh my gosh, wow, look. You've got Thoda Popinski. How did he get centered in that, by the way? How did Thoda Pop? Yeah, Thoda Pop is our Russian bot troll in residence. You can actually follow him. He doesn't do much on Twitter right now, but he does have a phone number. You should call it. It's really great. You should call that phone number and check it out if you really don't like the show. That's the guy who takes care of our hate mail, by the way. So if you hate the show and you're like, look, man, your show really upsets me. You say stuff every day that makes me so angry, dude. I'm just all foaming at the mouth mad. If you're that kind of person, you better go right now. Go to paleocratdiaries.com/connect and you email that guy. In fact, call him and leave a really crazy message. Do it now. Do it now. Oh, yeah, and look, there's Ailey. Secretary and Paleo's mega hot wife. It was supposed to be mega hot half Korean wife. That's the way you have to describe her every time. Mega hot, half Korean wife. It's totally true. It's totally true. She's my lady. And so it's got the emails there. It's got the phone numbers there. Oh my gosh, it's even got mine. That's not good. Who did this? Did I do that? I might have done that. I don't know. And of course, make sure to subscribe over here. Only a couple more of these announcements here, guys. The YouTube channel, and you can see, I want to just show you this because it breaks down great, okay? If you go to the channel, we've got these playlists. Gets put into this list, and it's awesome, okay? So you can go through and you can click on it, you can play it through, do whatever. The next one down, the next playlist, is all the Team Tiny Dancer stuff. Wow, even including my interview there with Timothy Gordon, The Theology of Childhood Cancer. It was a really great episode. If you want to cry, if you're into that kind of thing, I know some people, man. I never cry. I never cry. I've cried like 4 times on this show, man. Oh my gosh. But the thing is, I cried just yesterday. But I've got a whole bunch of videos here, okay, that you can watch. And, things to do with my daughter. You can see videos about that. You can see videos that the family's done. The next one's Paleo Cheese. And so every episode of Paleo Cheese that we do, we're actually going to show some clips today from Paleo Cheese. And you can go ahead and you can see that. And follow that. You got to subscribe to them, as well as my Meaning of Catholic playlist here. And at the very bottom, Vintage Paleo Radio. And then, of course, featured channels. It's got Holy Faith Media, Holy Faith Media TV, Holy Faith Media Network, Holy Faith Media Live. What the heck, man? What the heck, man? Why do we have so many? Because we have so many shows. That's just the way that goes. And so you absolutely must do all of that. So the point is, you got a lot of stuff that you got to do. You got to take care of some business. We're having some technical issues with the internet. I'm hoping that it doesn't go down too far. That's what I'm hoping, man. I am hoping that it doesn't. So, lastly, we'll finish up a couple of these, and then we got to move on, guys. We got a whole bunch of stuff going on. Shirley says, you make my mornings. No, the truth is, you make my mornings. You do. Every single one of you. You guys come, you don't even know what it's like. I was actually talking to somebody. It was my mom, and she was saying she doesn't understand how in the world I can do it where I just talk for, 2 hours, sometimes 3. I think the longest I've gone so far is like 3 hours and 15 minutes. And she said, I don't know how you can do it. And I said, it is really weird because I'm in a room by myself and I'm looking at a wall and I've got my camera here, I've got my computer here, and I'm talking at a wall, which is why I like to be able to hear myself, by the way. That's true. It's one of the reasons I like to hear myself. I don't understand people who are willing to be like, I don't need to hear myself. I don't need to hear myself in a microphone. I'm thinking, that's really weird, dude. That's really, really weird. I got to do it. But I said, it helps a lot whenever I see people in the comments. It helps because you guys, it makes it a conversation. Okay? It makes it a real conversation, and I really appreciate that. So, yes, you make my mornings. Zach says, hello. Hello to you. That's a nice smiley face. Is that a selfie? David Cambiano, Arkansas says hello. Dude, tell Arkansas I say what up. Tell Arkansas, dude. Get Arkansas on the phone. You got to do it, man. You got to do it. Jorge says, good to see you again. Good to see you, my friend. Yes, man. Bernita Centeno says, I don't make coffee, but it sounds good. Thanks, Doc. Yeah, but it's what the doctor ordered. It's what the doctor ordered. We do it every single morning. Every single morning we drink that coffee or the tea. You might be somebody who drinks tea. You might be somebody, one of those sad souls that only drinks water. You're like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. I only drink water. That's fine. If you're down with that. If you drink that water, that's perfectly fine. In fact, I encourage more, water. In fact, if Ailey can go ahead and grab me some water. I came down here. I didn't have any. I need the coffee, but I do need a little hydration. I got that Tone Loc still going on in the deep of my throat. Got it. All right, Ailey says hello. She's in the comments over there at YouTube. Yep, Cindy says hello from Barstow, California. Yes. Hey, you know what? You're helping to make California great. I've been seeing some very optimistic things about California, by the way. A lot of red wave stuff happening in California. I think people have just had it. I think they've had it. When you guys as governor, though, your governor's a real piece of work. He's a real piece of work. He's up there, man, in the crazy level with the Prime Minister of Canada and the Mayor of Chicago. Oh, yeah, man. Let's see here. Zach says. All right, we'll go to CF because Zach's more about politics. Okay, I'll talk about that in a moment. So CF says, morning, Paleocrat. Morning to you. Morning to you. And, of course, morning to Ailey and the crew. They're all here, man. They are all here, bro. So we're going to have a good time. It's going to be a whole bunch of fun. Before we move on, before we get to the funny stories, because we're going to talk about some funny stories, but I'm going to show you some funny stuff, too. I want you to see it. Man. You absolutely have to. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, I got it in the wrong one. Okay, here we go. There we go. So, okay. So, I've got this. Which one's this? I don't know why I didn't show the preview for this one. Hold on. Okay, yeah. I got to make that one. Give me a second. So, yeah, I accidentally forgot to. I did not put the name of these on the name of the videos, but I know I know what they are, though. I got it, man. I got it, guys. It's okay. Okay, the first one we're going to show you real quick, man, and we just head out for a second, give my voice a little bit of a break. But I hope you enjoy it, man. This is the most recent upload of Paleo Cheese Podcast. Me and my buddy, Chad Lutsky, award-winning author, Chad Lutsky. He's the man. He is the man. And we uploaded a podcast recently. Whenever we interview people, it's parts 1 and 2, and we're like 3 weeks ahead in the podcasting. So we've already recorded the episode that's going to go up at the beginning of December, for example. Right. And if we interview somebody, it's two different episodes. We break it up into the first part where we just schmooze and the second part where we review a movie. And if it's just ourselves, then it's just a one part. That's all we ever do. And so we uploaded one recently with the singer of Accused fame. I don't know if you know that punk band. You ought to. The Accused, definitely an amazing guy. Really, really cool. Tons of fun to interview. And we got to talk to him for hours. And so I'm going to show you the 2 parts, including the intro to the show, because I don't think I've ever included it. It's a whole bunch of fun, man. It's a whole bunch of fun. And part of the interview comes from one of the episodes that I made where I talked about Muskogis. See if you can recognize it. Muskogis, the pink headphones, named after their #1 fan. So we're going to go ahead and show that right now. Here we go. I'll be back in a couple moments.
Welcome. You're listening to Paleo Cheese Podcast, episode 22, part 1, with musician Blaine Cook.
In this episode.
Speaking of food, like, seeing these food shows and stuff, I have to ask you, have you ever heard of something called mukbang?
Mukbang?
Yeah.
Dude, you're gonna talk about that again?
Look, he's making food, man. I mean, I gotta pick it up.
Oh, mukbang, where they're doing the eating on the. They got to show it.
See, Chad, you're on the ball, man. You know. Yeah. So I didn't know if you did any of that.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think I'm not sexy enough and Asian enough.
Welcome. Welcome. You're listening to Paleo Cheese Podcast, episode 22, part 2, with guest Blaine Cook, discussing Cemetery Man.
In this episode,
we've talked deeply about the movie.
Yeah.
There's a lot to think about. Some of it may be overthinking, but
Probably a lot of it, man. I think that Blaine, his smile is like these cats here. It was all the absinthe, man. We in between the shows, we're just chugging absinthe, and Blaine's lighting it on fire. And
I haven't gone downstairs.
yeah. So right there is Paleo Cheese, and it's a whole bunch of fun. If you haven't watched any of the episodes, it's a total blast. You got to do it. It's a whole bunch of fun. And so make sure, go subscribe. In fact, I'll pop it up real quick here, and then we're going to go to some of the funny stuff, man. We're going to go to some of the funny stuff. We got to go to the stories about the animals, because there's a whole bunch of stuff going on with that. And you got to see this. If you see this banner at the top for Paleo Cheese, you are at the right place. So make sure to subscribe. You can do that. If you like the video, the video portion of it. Some people, on the other hand, they just like to hear the podcast. And if you want to hear the podcast, we have a channel over at Acast. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Google Play. You can find us on Apple Podcasts. You can find us all over the place. And so make sure to subscribe. We post every single week, sometimes 2 a week, depending on whether we have guests or not. But it's a whole bunch of fun. You can see we've done a lot of different episodes. In fact, I won't even click on view all. I'll leave that as a surprise. You got to do it yourself. You've got to do it yourself. So, okay. Well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and scooch this bugger over. I'm going to scooch this bugger over here. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that one is. I don't know, man. What's going on with that? Oh, my gosh. So, okay. So, here we go. Well, I know what this is. We're going to talk about that. It's going to be a bunch of fun. So, all right. What's this? What is this, man? And if you guys have funny stories, make sure that you send them to us over at paleocratdiaries@gmail.com, or you can send them like a lot of people do. Send them to my social media, which that kind of, to be honest, guys, come on, man. I say paleocratdiaries@gmail. You got to send it to my email, or you can go to my website, paleocratdiaries.com, and it has a Let's Chat module at the bottom. In fact, I got a message through there yesterday. Very, very grateful for that, for, what is it, Brave rewards, something like that, for people who use the Brave browser. I don't know much about Bitcoin, to be brutally honest. Don't know much about it. Yeah, I've heard that the video keeps lagging. I'm bummed out about this. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to be able to do about it. I'm hoping that it doesn't continue. I saw that it dropped. It dropped pretty hard, because I got this little thing in the red, and it will tell me, like right now, it went down to 800 just now, and then it goes right back up to 2,000. So I'm not entirely sure what the drop is and why it's doing that. Really bummed out about that. Here, let's see here. Really bummed out about that. Let's hope that it's going to keep working. And again, I apologize. I apologize for that. We even plugged in the Ethernet. So yesterday, once the Ethernet was plugged in, it was perfectly fine. It was perfectly fine. It was working great. Everything was good. It stayed in the green, in fact, the entire time. And now today, it's dropping down into the 800s. Not good at all. I've seen it actually go down as far as 0. And now it's down in the 500s. So look, this thing is freaking me out. I can't keep focusing on it, though. I can't keep focusing on it. You got to keep marching on. I got to do the best I can. And I apologize. Again, it's something we're working on here. The crew is working on, trying to figure out why in the world we are at this place where it goes up and down. Trying to figure out why is it doing that. Because we're in Grand Rapids. We should not even be having this problem. We should not be having this problem at all. But we do. We do. And speaking of somebody with a problem, okay, speaking of somebody who's really, really struggling, check this out. No, hold on a second. Uh-oh. Has that been going through? That's been going through the whole time. That's been going through the speakers on the outside. Even the video of Paleo Cheese. Come on, man. Were you guys able to hear the words on Paleo Cheese or not? Because if not, we're going to play it later. In fact, we're just going to play it later anyway. That's upsetting. I play a video and it's like going through. It's going through. And what's happening? It's going through the main speakers. Oh, brother. Come on now. All right, here we go. Check this out. So apparently this guy, I don't know, man. I'm not even entirely sure there's a person in this truck. Okay, there's a good possibility. There's a good possibility that it's one of the animals. It's a good possibility it is one of the animals. You know what I'm saying? But here we go. You judge for yourself. You tell me, is the person driving this, is it a human being? Or is it more likely one of, like, you know, the deer or the beavers? We've learned a lot about the beavers recently. My son yesterday wouldn't even eat any of the vanilla ice cream. Okay, yeah, so Angela said she couldn't hear it. She couldn't hear the audio. So, okay, we'll play that again. We will play that again here very soon. Okay, it's not very long, and it's too good. I can't not play it. You just simply got to see it. So we'll play that before we move on. Oh, John said he could hear it. Okay, good. So some people could hear it, some people could not. Either which way, we'll play it again. We'll play it as a promo later. Here we go. What? Okay, hold on. No. We have to see this again. We got to see this again. Oh my gosh, dude. What the heck is this? Okay. So it doesn't look like it's very well rigged, right? It's looking like this thing is really struggling, dude. That's unbelievable. And okay, be serious about this, guys. Like, what kind of zone would homeboy have to be in? What kind of mental state? What kind of spiritual state would this guy have to be in to be driving a car, right? He's pulling it along, he's towing it along, and this bugger's just smashing into other cars, and he's just like, nope, I'm just going to keep going. I'm out of here. Peace. He's had it. Oh my gosh, dude. That's what I'm saying. I don't know, guys. This might not, in fact, even be a human. I think it's an animal. They don't understand how this works. Here we go. One more time. He just kept going. He ain't stopping, dude. Homeboy ain't stopping. And who's the person honking? They're like, look, dude. I mean, maybe it's the truck. You never know. Man. Oh, my gosh, dude. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Ailey said she could hear the Paleo Cheese, the Paleo Cheese podcast. Yeah, it doesn't matter, man. You guys can debate that out in the comments. You guys, no, I couldn't. Yes, I could. No, you couldn't. You're lying to me. You guys are tricking me, man. You are tricking me. Oh, my gosh, what's this? I don't know if this is looking good, guys. I don't know. What would you do? I love golf, by the way. I love golf. I used to golf all the time. I was a very good golfer, in fact. Almost scratch, right? Almost a scratch golfer. You know, it depended on the course, of course. But I was really good at it and played all the time. I played in high school. In fact, behind me, on the library behind me, I've got my MVP, one of them, because I was MVP for what, 3 years in golf, 3 years in basketball, 3 years in golf. And I wanted at one time, I wanted to be a golf pro, like at a golf shop. I had no ambition of being somebody on, the circuit and stuff. I wanted to be somebody who worked at a golf club, some kind of country club, helping people learn how to golf, doing special events and stuff like that. I always thought that would be a bunch of fun, and I ended up going to Bible college. It's what I went to do, and then later on became a Catholic and said, well, I can't pastor anymore. I got a bunch of kids. Kind of pulled that maneuver. And so went back to school for journalism, and, well, here I am now. So let's see what this lady's all about. She's looking kind of cool. I like those outfits. She's got a nice pair of golf shoes there. Let's see what's going on with this deer. Let's see. Hold on. Let's get the audio. Oh, the audio is all the way up. Okay. I'm sorry about that. We're gonna rewind this here. Hold on. This is good. Oh man.
Make the putt.
Your horns are a little nerve-wracking. And look, dude, she nailed it. She nailed it. Look at that. What would you do? Look, she looks a little bit nervous. I would be, man. Deer coming up with its antlers like that. You know, I mean, it makes it a little bit easier. It's like there's pros and cons, man. There's pros and cons to this, you know, because you're going to sit there and you're going to say, look, I may in fact have to wrestle this deer. I may have to wrestle that bugger to the ground. Have you guys ever done that? Have you ever wrestled a deer? No, they're tough buggers, man. Yeah, like I know from experience. Yeah, I wrestled one, man. I was in the woods wrestling them buggers for fun. We have fun, dude. I'm friends with the animal kingdom. It depends. I'm either you know, an ally or I'm their worst enemy. It's one of the two. But this guy right here, he might be cute. He might be cute. You know, the big ears and everything. But those antlers, it's kind of, there's pros and cons because those antlers, they can gorge you. Those buggers can gorge you, which would be really terrible. That would not be fun. You would not have a good time with that. But it also makes it a little bit easier. You know, it gives you more to grab onto. You know, and so you could grab onto it and kind of move it around. If you got to take it down, you got to take it down. It's just easy to do. It's easier to do it by the antlers than to, you know, grab it by the neck. I'm sorry for talking so crudely, but dude, if a deer's coming up fighting you like that, and a deer's doing it, you got to take the bugger out. You got to take it out. People are going to be like, dude, what's wrong with you? Oh my gosh, man. We're talking, you know, crazy scenarios, guys. We are taking crazy scenarios. We're talking crazy stuff here. Speaking of crazy stuff, apparently this pigeon. Oh, a pigeon. Oh, okay. I got you. We know about the pigeons, by the way. We know about the pigeons, don't we, guys? We've talked about that. We saw I think the first glimpse that we had. The first glimpse that we had may have been from Home Alone, where the old lady, you know, she's feeding the pigeons and everything. It was obvious that she was part of some kind of scheme. She lived in the loft of this, what was it, a ballet company, a theater company, kind of. You know, so she's pretending to be poor. And she's got all these pigeons everywhere, and she's feeding them and everything. And, you know, but we saw that they congregate in large groups. And so we know that they're forming an army. I mean, that's an obvious fact. There's no other reason why they would form in large groups. I think it's a scientific fact. But the thing is that we saw a pigeon. There was a one of those gotcha moments, man, where there was a pigeon carrying around this massive camera, and that massive camera, it just so happened to be at the Spy Museum. Okay, so it just so happened to be at the Spy Museum, and you sit there and you go, "Oh, what are you doing with the big camera around your neck in the first place? Second of all, what are you doing with the big camera around your neck at a Spy Museum?" You know, it's obvious. It's obvious that they are colluding big time. It is obvious that they are colluding big time. So yeah, what's going on with this? Let's see what this thing is. $1.8 million? Okay, the deep state obviously bought this. It's obvious, man. The deep state bought this pigeon. Oh my gosh, dude. So they're like, look, this is the fastest pigeon in the world. We're going to buy it. And people are like, well, you know, it's going to be kind of expensive. And they're like, we're dropping $1.8 million. $1.8 million for this pigeon, dude. This bred in Belgium. Oh, to a Chinese collector. Oh, of course. Oh, a collector. Maybe a collector of your information on TikTok. That's what's going on, guys. Does it say how fast this bugger goes? Does it say? It's a champion. Okay, another champion bird. The Lewis Hamilton of pigeons. All right.
We can already say that this record price is unbelievable.
They're not unbelievable. They're not unbelievable if you understand the great animal uprising, broski. If you understand the great animal uprising of 2020, and if you don't, you haven't been paying attention to the very important topics on this show. Because we talk about it, guys. We talk about it. This guy, he's clueless. How fast does this bugger go, man? How fast does it go? Does it say? No, it says it's the fastest one. Oh, it goes by the pseudonym Super Duper. Oh, dude. This is where the deep state rubs it in our faces, because I think this is the only show that uses the phrase super duper. super dupe, mega dope, stuff like that. Oh, what's the other one? Mega dope. It's a joke, guys. It is a joke. These people. These people, man. Let's see. Marks and Spencer advert leaves viewers uncomfortable. I'm going to skip this one. Well, no, I guess I could. Okay, hold on. It features a married couple who are actually together, IRL, due to COVID. Okay, so these people are actually together. I got you. Oh, really? Due to COVID? Yeah, like their love story, and when they talk about it, they're like, and then, COVID happened and we got married. Okay, I guess. What's next? People thanking Burger King? Thanking the Burger King? Is that what's going on, guys? I don't know anybody who did that. I thanked him yesterday on the show, man. I talked about how I met my wife. So, in Burger King, I'm not gonna deny that. It's totally true. Jody Brown. Yes, I know who you are, Jody. I know who you are. I wish I would have been able to say hi, but I know who you are for sure. Carrier pigeons and smoke signals will be how we communicate once we're censored from social media. Yes. Oh, totally. Are you already practicing your smoke signals? I've gotten really good at it. I'm practicing smoke signals in cursive. And so, people might have a hard time at first. I gotta do it in print first. But we'll communicate. We'll communicate that, and we'll do secret messages through Laffy Taffy wrappers. Laffy Taffy wrappers, because they got and bazooka bubble gum. Bazooka bubblegum wrappers. Oh my gosh, man. CF says Animal Takeover, figuring out where influence lies. It's true, dude. It's true. They're all following. Everybody involved in the takeover, they're following this show because they know they thought they had everybody duped, right? That's what all the memes are about. Everybody shares these cute memes of all the animals doing crazy crap. They share that and they're like, oh, look at this. Make it go viral. Share, share, share. And I'm thinking, yeah, but you should also put maybe, I don't know, a disclaimer that says, these are the enemy. These animals are out to get you. They're out to take over, guys. It's happened before. You can look, if you go back far enough, you can see the kind of takeover that took place even in hieroglyphs, with hieroglyphics. You can see it. There's all these weird, massive, I don't know if you'd call them murals, right? On the sides of mountains and stuff, of cats and everything. Of cats. Big alligators and such. People used to worship them buggers because they took over. They took over. They didn't have, and I've always wondered, what kind of person back in the day, we're talking like ancient Egypt and stuff. Did they have their own version of Paleocrat Diaries? Was there somebody crying out like Superman's dad? I'm like Superman's dad. I'm crying out, trying to let everybody know what's going on, and nobody's listening. Nobody, well, you guys are. You are. And you're on the ball. Your friends might think you're crazy. Whenever you talk about, well, that's the Great Animal Uprising. Maybe you haven't heard about it. They might think you're nuts, but believe me, you are on the ball. You're on the ball. And here's some, what's this? Okay. Oh, is this the Christmas advert they're talking about? Oh, look at that. Of course. You see it? Oh, dude. Okay, look. Did you see that? Yeah. How esoteric is this, by the way? This is like for the people in the know. This is for, and what's up with his beak, dude? Oh, man. What's going on with that? Look at his eyes, man. Look at his eyes. It's causing trouble. Looks like he hasn't slept in a long time. He needs some sleep. They're working hard on the takeover. So look, we're talking about pigeons. Next thing you know, you've got this weird Christmas advert. And it's weird because they call it an advert. Oh, man. Okay.
Of all the things to be, I choose a kindness, and if you gave some...
Okay, I don't know if we can watch all this. What is happening? This is their Christmas advert. Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, so this is what it's all come to, guys. There's probably a whole bunch of symbolism inside of this. Oh, obviously, look at this. This is obviously esoteric. It's kind of like, well, what's the video about goats? What's the video about goats? People have been analyzing that bugger now for years. with all of these hidden messages. Is it iGoat? What is that thing called? We got to do our own analysis of that, by the way. Oh my gosh. That is admittedly a really bizarre thing, but this is like maybe the new version of that. The new version of it. But I'm not seeing, even as I'm scrolling along, I'm not really seeing. Oh, look at this, guys. Again, none of this is new. Look, this is predictive programming. They're letting us know. The powers that be are letting us know. They're saying, look, this is the future, guys. This is the future. It's in fact Back to the Future by the look of it. Look at these outfits, man. You got homeboy on the left. He's got his Master P medallion on the front. You got him. You got what's his name? Who's the guy with the big clock on his chest, man? What's that guy? Oh my gosh, it's killing me that I forget this dude's name, man. I should remember his name. Oh, it's gonna drive me nuts, man. Anyway, they've got him. What's next? Is one of these guys crisscrossing? And you can already see that even in the world of the animals, they're going to deal with prejudice because the porcupine over here, it doesn't look like he has very many friends. So people may put their trust in animals and think that animals are going to bring everybody together. They're not understanding that even animals struggle with prejudice. They haven't been indoctrinated either. They haven't been indoctrinated, man. They're not for it, man. They aren't for it. All right, we're moving on. What's this? By the way, dude, I love you guys. I love you guys. I'm glad you're along for the ride. Because people, they're like, look, man, I heard your speech. For example, I've had this, I heard your speech over in Lansing. And it was amazing, man. I loved it. And I can only imagine that these people, that a lot of them are going to come and they're going to turn on the show and they're going to be like, dude, is this guy talking? Like, what is he talking about? What is going on here? And it's like you got this big backstory behind you. And you're like, oh man, dude, you're way behind. You got to fill in the blanks. The best way to do it, go and just watch and take notes of every video we've ever done. It will catch you up to date. Shouldn't take you too long. You'll catch up. And make sure to keep up watching the new ones every single day. Every single day. So, okay, runaway dog from Canada crosses border into the United States. Doesn't sound good, guys. Sounds kind of like, an illegal immigrant. It's kind of the way that goes. I think we need to pay more attention. I've said this for a while. We need to pay more attention to the northern border. It's not just the southern border. I know that we focus a lot on that. It's where the majority of it comes from. And it's gotten worse. In fact, Mexico, right, homeboy down there, he's been doing a pretty decent job. He's working along with us. Has he congratulated Biden yet, or is he still one of those guys doing the right thing? Saying Biden isn't even president-elect yet. In fact, wasn't it Facebook? Didn't Facebook remove president-elect from Biden? Is that true news? Let me know in the comments, man. That did Biden take off, or did they take off president-elect from Biden and put on projected winner? Is that what they put on? I thought it was yesterday or the day before. Yesterday or the day before. They need to put president, by the way, back on Donald Trump. Yeah. So anyway, a dog who escaped. This is over at UPI. This is UPI. All right. A dog who escaped from her family's home in New Brunswick had her homecoming complicated when she crossed the border into the United States. That does make it a little bit complicated, man. It does make it a little itsy bit complicated. Let's see here. Oh man, there's no highlights. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Michaud, Paris Michaud, said her father, Robert Soroy, was caring for her German Shepherd, Diamond, while she and her husband were at a hockey tournament with their 9-year-old daughter. Michaud said Soroy? When we say Soroy, why not? Soroy? How would you pronounce that? Opened the garage door at the family's Claire home, and the 17-month-old canine dashed out before he could stop her. That's a bummer, by the way, man. I've had that happen with a cat before. I was bummed out, but the truth is that cat was kind of a jerk. I've had a lot of really good cats, man. I'm a cat guy. I love dogs too, but I'm a cat person. Not gonna lie. And I've had a lot of amazing cats, man. But cats that I would consider friends. They're like people, right? They're like people. Super smart. They got personalities, attitudes, everything else. Terrible habits. But I've had a bunch, but I've had one that was kind of rude. And it was, I didn't get it when it was little. I got it when it was a little bit older, and they called it, what was his name? Cuddles. Cuddles, and Cuddles was not cuddly at all. Cuddles was a mean cat. Cuddles was rude. Cuddles was like, if you could think of the opposite of Cuddles, that's what this cat was. And one day, the cat just, woo, out the door. And I'm like, I thought of running for it, but instead I kind of went, Cuddles, no, come back. She's gone. No, not really. I did try to get her, but she was gone. I don't know whatever happened to her, I actually hope, I hope she found a nice house. I mean, I don't wish ill on any cat, even ones that are jerks. I'm like, wasn't a good fit, man. So yeah, Mashad, who was about 4 hours away at the hockey tournament, put out a plea for help on Facebook. Oh my gosh, I cried and I cried. I was in a panic, she told the Bangor Daily News. I was walking like crazy in the hotel room, having my phone in my hand and praying that someone can find my dog. Reports of sightings started coming in. Look, how are they going to know? They're just going to say, look, I saw a German Shepherd. Hey, I mean, that's actually going to make it, like, kind of hard, actually, right? Wouldn't it? It'd make it kind of hard because then you're, like, going in many different directions, and you're like, then you're going to get more frustrated and be like, well, maybe it's Diamond, but maybe it's just some random German Shepherd. You don't know. You don't know. But a family friend who lives in St. John, Maine, joined in the search and was able to take custody of Diamond after she wandered into a resident's garage. Dude, what was this dog looking for, by the way? Oh, by the way, Diamond, it was hard to get Diamond home because the borders closed due to COVID-19. Yeah, not anybody can go to Fort Kent because of Fort Kent. Oh, is that the name of the city? Or is that where the I don't know, military base that dog was going to? You know what? If that dog was in Canada, just think this through with me, guys. Tell me if I'm wrong. If this dog is in Canada, okay, and this dog's sneaking out and ends up crossing the border into the United States, trying to make it to a military base, is that dog on our side? My bet is the answer is yes. I'm glad that eventually, yes, it was found. Very, very, very glad. Yeah, Mashad said, she's a very good dog. She likes to play with everybody and is also protective. I'm pretty sure the reason why she ran away was to find my daughter. Probably not. It was probably to give us information from Canada because we know that the Prime Minister is all down with the Great Reset. And we ain't going to have that. And so this dog's like, ain't doing it, man. Ain't doing the Great Reset. Prime Minister trying to make me eat a bunch of grass. A bunch of insects, play with worms and crap. Probably a patriotic dog. Probably a patriotic dog. Definitely on our side. All right, what's this one? Only a couple more of these stories. We're moving on. Shocking video shows a huge chunk of cliff collapsing near beachgoers. Dang, son. Okay. Have you guys ever had anything like that? Have you ever had anything where a huge chunk of land was dropping at you? I mean, how frightening would that be? Have you ever been in a place where there's a mudslide? I haven't. I've been where there's tornadoes. In fact, I was in a car. I was in a car with my buddy. We're driving down the road. I think it was my cousin, actually. We're driving down the road, and we knew that they had a tornado warning, in fact, or tornado watch. I mean, it was real bad. We're driving down the road, and we hear the wind is just blowing all around the car, and the car's kind of shaking. Next thing you know, the car, you can feel it just lift a little bit off the ground, just a little bit, and boom, right back down, and kind of did a quick jerk of the wheel. Crazy, man. It was absolutely crazy. I'm like, dude, that was creeping me out. I also saw a water spout. Have you guys ever seen one of them buggers? I saw a water spout, which was actually really frightening because the storm around it was really intense. And I'm trying to get my kids out of the camper, and we're trying to go to a safe spot. Didn't realize that it's really rare that water spouts actually come up on the land. But seeing it coming towards you, boy, oh boy, oh boy, that's a different level, man. Oh, this is written by Sonia Jane. Yeah, we like Sonia Jane, man, over at NDTV. We like her. Yeah, we should invite Sonia on the show just to talk about some of this stuff. And we got to ask her. We're going to have to ask her about the animal takeover. And look, I know, I don't know if I should do this, man, but if I have a guest on and they don't know about it, I'm half tempted to just, stay in the persona, keep doing the shtick, and just be like, just run with it and go with it and take it seriously. And maybe even be like, I've been wondering, in fact, if you're part of the animal takeover. And that you're a traitor, that you're part of it. I don't know. I wouldn't want to burn them too badly. But here we go. Okay, so what's this? They're just chilling. They're just watching. They're over, having a good time. Probably TikToking it up. You can tell by the way the girl's sitting. That's not a very natural way. Oh. Okay, here we go. What's this nonsense?
Ja, da ist noch mehr. Es ist echt der Hammer jetzt. Oh mein Gott. Wow. Wer will das? Boah.
Blah. Oh, dude, yeah, look at that. Okay, so you can see stuff coming out. It'd be kind of weird to me. You know, I'd be like, I don't know about that. What kind of creaking noises would it be making? You know, like when ice has those kind of cracks that they go through it, that deep creaking noise. I wonder if that's kind of similar to what goes on here. How long is the lead up to this, man? Okay. Hold on. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Scheiße.
Okay, he said a naughty word. He said some naughty.
Scheiße.
Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh.
Scheiße, die Welle.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Run.
Run. Why would you run, dude? It ain't gonna do nothing. Oh, man. He's like, run. Get out of here, everybody. And everybody's like, why? It's way over there. It's way over there. It's not going to do anything. What do you think? You think it's going to cause a tidal wave, bro? And come at, I mean, I don't know, maybe. Maybe you're going to have some serious waves coming at you, dude, and you're going to be like running for your, for your life. But that'd be really terrifying, man. That would be really, really, really terrifying. Let's see here. We'll do one more. We'll do one more here. Okay. I had one about a puppy. Don't want to do that. Don't want to do the puppy one. Don't want to do that. Don't want to do. Okay. We're gonna do. We'll do a cute one. We'll do a cute one. Okay. We'll do a cute one. Does this have a video that goes with it? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. All right, little boy. Oh, this is also, man, Sonia Jane. You're pretty cool, man. I bet you got a cool job. I bet you have a really cool job. I'd love to do what you do. By the way, little boy helps tow his dad's car out of a ditch. An adorable viral video. And it's funny. I say that I wish that I could be doing similar things there. I kind of am, right? And I don't wish I could do anything other than what I'm doing, right? But maybe write more. That's what I mean by that. Maybe write more so that at Paleocrat Diaries, we even, kind of keep up with stuff like this ourselves. And share those things and say, this is a Paleocrat Diary exclusive. Let's see. An adorable video that's winning hearts on social media shows a little boy helping his father's car out of a ditch. Okay, so it resurfaced. And it began to gain viral attention after it was reposted on Twitter by former American basketballer Rex Chapman. Really? Oh, dang. Oh, dang, dude, Rex, dude. Yeah, okay, he shared it. In the clip, the boy uses his car to pull his dad's vehicle out of a ditch. His little car can be seen attached to his father's vehicle by a length of rope. Okay. So, let's see. Dad of the Year, wrote Rex Chapman while sharing the clip on Twitter. So, yeah, here we go. Let's see this. Oh, his Jeep, man. Oh, dang. Okay. So, was it really stuck in a ditch, guys? Do you really believe that? Do you really believe it was stuck in a ditch? I don't think so. I don't think so. A Jeep, dude. And look at it. There's no way. I'm sorry, bro. You are not stuck at all. He's doing this. Okay, I know what he's doing. Yeah, he's just doing it for his son, man, to let his son know. Dude, that is Dad of the Year. That is what makes it, real special. And it would be kind of dangerous if it was hooked up to a different one. So this is obvious, right, that this is not real. But, not to the kid. The kid's really pumped about it. The kid's pumped. So let's see what's going on with this, man.
He'd say, I'm gonna be like you, Dad.
Oh, that's going to totally get me in trouble. I need to go ahead and take this down a little bit. Oh, it's going to copyright. Oh, no. Don't do it. Okay, look at this. I'm going to try to disturb the audio. I don't want to get copyright strike. Oh, look at that. Yes, man. This is fair use. I'm commenting on this. Look at this. Bow, bow, bow. Oh, dude, I love that song, too. Yes, dude. I kind of hate when it does that, though. I'm not even going to lie. I kind of hate when it does that. I know why they do it. They can share it. It's no problem. It's kind of weird that they can share those things. And yet if you go and you put something on, well, they can't monetize it. Either way, dude, that little kid, look at that little bugger go, man. Look at that. I always wanted one of those things, man. I always wanted one of those. I'd ask for them. And my parents, dude, they wouldn't do that, dude. They'd give me some jacks, like the bouncy ball and little spiky things. Like, here, play with these instead. It's just as good. And I'm crying, dude. Or, hey, every once in a while they'd buy me He-Man toys. only later to make me give them away to a classmate who was my avowed enemy. He was my arch nemesis. And they're like, you can't have these anymore. You got to give your He-Man toys. I think they regret that, by the way. I think they regret making me give away the He-Man toys. Because it's just too bad. It is just simply too bad. All right. We're going to go real quick to the comments. Talk about some of those real quick. Okay, yeah. Dude is Flava Flav. Talking about the rapper. I was talking about the pigeons who have the little medallion. And yes, man. And yes, it is definitely, the little medallion is Flava Flav. Very, very cool. Let's see. Trust Jesus says, prepare the warning, second coming of Jesus Christ. I'm not an apocalyptic guy. I got to just be honest with you. I am not an apocalyptic person. In fact, I have an optimistic eschatology. And we've talked about that before. Eschatology, a belief about the end. I know a lot of people that, they await the day that Jesus snaps us out of here and that we just kind of like, boop, we're just gone. And I'm like, it's kind of weird how much effort we're putting into this enterprise if you believe that that's the case. If you believe that that's the case, it's one of those things. It's like shining the brass on a sinking ship. We got to make the world better because I think we're going to be out of here real quick and then it's going to hell. It's a sinking ship, which is why so many people who've embraced that have this kind of this escapism from the world, and it's actually really hurt us. It's hurt us, when people complain about how Marxists have made their way into basically every sphere. You talk about politics, you talk about economics, you talk about arts, arts strictly speaking. Then you talk about books, talk about movies, Hollywood, so you got every level of major cultural influence, and you can see that the Marxist enterprise has infiltrated it big time. It's not even a question. And my position on this is part of the reason why Christians stopped doing that, because they used to do that. That's why we can lament the fact that once Christian countries and once Christian laws and once Christian constitutions and once Christian organizations or colleges or universities, the reason why they are once Christian is because so many within Christianity have embraced an idea of the end, which influences the way we act right now. It does. It influences the way that we act right now. So if you have a view of the end, that is meaningless, and I'm not saying that's what Christians have, but if you have a view, let's say you are an unbeliever, you're an atheist, and you say, we came from nothing, we're going to nothing, we opened our eyes, we closed our eyes, there's nowhere we're going. The best that they can conjure up is meaning for themselves. That's it. And that meaning is arbitrary. In the grand scheme of things, in the big picture of things, it's completely arbitrary, just as they are. So their actions, their thoughts, the morals that they have, the expectations, all of these things, and it fuels this idea of licentiousness, right? You can just do whatever, right? And it ends up in authoritarianism, right? So it has kind of this weird tension there. And so you see the way that the end of, in someone's view, their eschatology influences the way that they act and operate and believe in the here and now. And the exact same thing is true of everybody. And it's true of Christianity. And so I know a lot of people, and I grew up, I grew up in Trinitarian Pentecostalism. Okay, so Church of God, Assemblies of God. I have family, the family is still involved with that. Okay, some. And, but they were influenced by Adventism. And I have heard throughout my 42 years of existence, you don't even know how many different explanations I've heard. I call it's newspaper exegesis. It's reading the newspaper, finding what you want to see there that fits into your model and pulling it out and putting it into its place. And so you look and you say, well, who's been the boogeyman throughout your life? It's hard to count anymore. It's hard to count anymore. And how's it going to play out? What's it going to be? What how soon is it? Does everything around us show that it will happen any moment now? And I just don't buy that. I just don't buy that. So I don't know, man. But no matter what, I mean, let me put it this way: no matter what, you need to prepare. In fact, we don't put out there the idea on the show anyway, we don't put out there the idea that the reason you have to prepare is for the second coming. We say that you have to prepare because you're going to die and you will meet your Creator face to face. So regardless of when that end comes, your preparation is not a survivalist mindset or an escapist mindset or a defeatist mindset, but it's an optimistic mindset of every single moment of every day, giving your best and your all, no matter what. Giving your best and your all for your family, for your nation, and for Christ the King. And that's what it is. That's what it is. Let's see. So he's got a lot of that. Holy Communion on the tongue, only kneel with respect. I actually agree with that. Our church is doing, is putting in altar rails. Really excited about that. I haven't seen pictures. My wife said she has seen them. Talking about veils during Holy Mass. I support that too, by the way. I support the old man. Tella. Y'all hitting the copium pretty hard this morning. Yeah, conscious type person. The copium. Yeah, there is no copium going on here. There is no copium. It's the same thing. In fact, it's funny because to cope with something, really the way that it's being framed, is the idea that it's a reaction to it. We were talking about this well in advance of the election. You obviously don't follow what I do. You don't follow what I do. Let's see here. Brian says the deer is the leader, making people believe he's okay. Yeah, he's the leader, dude. Yeah, the deer at the golf course. He's letting people know, dude. He's like, yeah, I'm definitely the leader. Definitely the leader. He's coming out, letting people know. He's saying, look, I'm perfectly fine. It's kind of like the aliens, dude, on Mars Attacks. It's like the aliens on Mars Attacks, dude. Yeah, and Paul Nacky said Flava Flav, too. It wasn't just Brian. Yeah. So dude with the clock is Flava Flav. Yeah. It's totally true, man. I'm really grateful for you guys. Really, really grateful for you guys. Let's see. Rip out all these Dominion machines. Throw them out in the streets and bulldoze them into junk. Yeah, bulldoze them into drunk. Have that guy, have that dude, the tow truck, have that dude bulldoze them. He'll do it. He'll do it over and over and over, in fact. And is this iced coffee? No, man, it's cold brew. It's cold brew. It's the way to go, man. It's less acidic, smooth. It's real smooth. I drink it. I drink it black, though. I drink it black, though, dude. I like it that way. That's the way you got to do it, man. It's straight to the dome stuff. Straight to the dome stuff, man. Got to fill it up. In fact, speaking of straight to the dome, we're going to have to move on here, guys. We've got to move on here, and we are going to play our Wolfpack song. So, just as a quick reminder here, let's get this back over. Okay, remember, we are Wolfpack. Every single day, we give our best and our all. We rejoice, and we're glad in this day. And why do we do it? Because it is a day that the Lord has made, and we are in it. Okay, we live and move. We have our being. Okay, all of these things about our lives, we do within the context of creatures within a created order under a creator God. And we believe he's the triune God, the God of Christianity. And we support that here. We are unambiguous about it. Okay, we're unambiguous about it. We put it out there. We say this is what it is. This is what the model of culture and civilization that we promote and advance on the show. And we do so with great zeal. We are super excited to be alive because we've resolved in our hearts to never give up, to keep on smiling, and to always remember that we will die. We don't know how many more days we've got to say, let's rejoice and be glad. Okay, that it's another day that the Lord has made and we are in it. We don't know. We may be in it, but we may be 6 feet underground. We'll be in a different place. And so while we're here, the ambition is no matter where you are in your life, if you're a student, if you're a housewife, we have tons of housewives. Big shout out to the housewives. Love them. Lots and lots and lots of the ladies like this show. And so, what, it doesn't matter. You're a student. You're a housewife. You're one of the ladies. You're one of the divas. You're a guy going to work, working your butt off. The Sally Sues and Johnny Q's of this world, right? The people in flyover country, the deplorables, the irredeemables, those who've been cast away, mocked and made fun of their entire lives, who just every single day put their, put their hand to the grind, and they're like, look, we are going to push forward. We are going to do the best we can because this is why we've been placed here. We've been placed here for a purpose. I've been beautifully and wonderfully made. And so every single day we get ready. We raise our glass high, committed to this endeavor. So make sure, get your glass right now. because we're moving on to the serious portion. We're moving on to the serious portion, guys. And make sure to share this with all your friends. Make sure to share this show. If you love this show, you've got to do it. You simply have to do it. So we're going to raise this glass high, and we're going to howl at the sun. We're going to howl at heaven, letting everybody know that we are alive and that we are in it to win it. Here we go. Yeah, that's my little dude. He's my homeboy. That's my homegirl in there. Right. Little Annabelle. Yeah. Oh! Here we go. Straight to the dome. Dance around. Let everybody see. You're a freak and you're a geek. You're part of the wolf pack. Time to howl. We are victorious, more than conquerors. I've got a new video, by the way. I'm gonna have to share it. We're gonna have to do it. Not today, all right? But we got video footage of little Louie doing more dancing. And, you know, if you have a picture of yourself, even just a glass, doesn't matter. If you're raising your glass high, you take a picture of yourself raising your glass high with Paleocrat Diaries playing in the background. You send that to paleocratdiaries@gmail.com. You got to send it, man. You absolutely have to send it, okay? Because we will add it to the amazing video that we play at the mid portion of every single show. And yes, Kashan, great show. I appreciate it, dude. I appreciate it, man. Barbara says, power is returned. Yay. And it's AM nap time here in Child Care Nanny. How would you pronounce that? Villages? Villages? How would you pronounce it? I don't know, man. You got to help me out with that one. David Johnson. Yeah, from Canada. I'm assuming that's what that is, man. Commenting from Canada. Definitely grateful to have you along for the ride. Okay, before we move on, I've got a, let me see here, hold on. What's this one? What is this one? Oh, I got it on the main banner. Hold on. I got it on the main banner. Okay. So, which one's this? Real quick. Okay, that is one I want to go ahead and show. Let's see this one. Okay, that one. So, okay, before we move on, I just want to let everybody know, we have to do this, man. This is the midpoint part of the show, and going to give my voice a break for about a minute and a half. I want to go ahead and I want to share with you the reason why we do this show. Make sure to visit paleocratdiaries.com. You can see it at the bottom of the screen, because we do this every day, not just for fun. It is a blast. We have a good time. It's a great way to wake up, man. You know, we drink coffee, we drink tea, we drink whatever, you know, you raise your burger high. There are some people that go to bed watching the show, right? They're over in India or, you know, somewhere on the other side of the planet. And they've been in here multiple times talking about it. And so, you know, you have individuals that love to start their day this way. They love to have fun. In fact, it was really cool when my mom yesterday, she was talking to me about how some of the segments that I've done, man, have really messed with her. Like, for example, the one about which is the funniest one I think I've ever done. I laughed so hard I could barely, I was seeing stars, man. I had to take a breath like 3 times. I'm like, man, dude, this is so funny. The one about the boyfriend who wouldn't wipe after he went to the bathroom. Okay. And the girlfriend who's trying to get him to stop. She's trying to get him to wipe. And he was insisting that he didn't have to because he was eating enough fiber. And that if everybody ate enough fiber, they could put the, you know, toilet paper lobby out of business. But she was laughing about it and talking about some of these segments and how much fun she's been having and how she really enjoys waking up just to see that. And I mean, that's my mom. You know, and I got to, you know, some people say, well, that's your mom. And you go, no, you don't understand. I don't think my mom has ever really tuned into anything I've ever done. She was never a fan. You know, I don't think my mom ever tuned in and was listening to my radio show back in the day. I don't, you know, it's just not her thing. You know, I was always serious. I mean, we had fun and we laughed, but it was strictly politics and economics and culture and interviews with politicos and stuff like that. And she said, look, I really enjoyed, you know, in the morning, just having a really good time and hearing these fun stories. And I hear it all over the place. So we are having fun, but it's not just about that. And it's not just about being serious and talking about the news of the day. And we have a whole bunch of news to talk about. But ultimately, for me, coming here and sitting down in front of this mic every single day, it is fundamentally doing two things. Number one, it is recognizing gifts and talents that I believe that God has given me and putting them into practice for a vocation. To say, I have prayed and discerned throughout my life to say, God, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do with my life? What do you want me to do? And to use your vocation, right, as your liturgy in your life, to say, you know, it doesn't matter what you do in your life. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is that you're doing, that you make it a kind of work to the Lord that is completely dedicated to him, that's sacred. And that doesn't mean putting a cross on everything. Okay? It doesn't mean making, you know, if you're an artist, it doesn't mean that every single thing that you do has to be a very saintly and heavenly picture. It doesn't matter that way. If you're making music, it doesn't have to have the message of grace all the time in every single song. It doesn't have to say the name Jesus in every song. It has to be a product that is using the gifts and talents that God gave you to its absolute fullest, to advance all of the different things in life: truth, beauty, love, right? And even to write and to think about sadness and tragedy, to recognize those things as being part of life, or just ordinary life, but doing your absolute best, no matter what it is. It doesn't matter. You're a plumber. You're a janitor, you're working at a restaurant, you're serving tables, doesn't matter. You're a student, you know, maybe you're a daycare. It just doesn't matter. Everything you do is this way, and that is what I'm trying to do here. And that's why even when my voice is rough, right? Yeah, I could take off. I'm the owner. I'm the owner. I could just take off and say, all right, guys, I'm sorry, I'll see you in a couple days. But I don't. I do the best I can with what I've got. And the reason for it is this, is not just, you know, in the heavenly dynamic and the eschatological dynamic, but also the familial one. I have children. And I need to set an example. In fact, set a bar of excellence for my children in this regard. And I've chosen to do this and also to make it so that any fund that comes in, any membership, it's $5, right? So if you go to paleocratdiaries.com, you can become a member. Anything that comes through with services, right? That's speeches, interviews, anything like that. Anything that comes in this way, any donation that we get, we've dedicated 100% of that to making sure that our kids can continue going to Sacred Heart Academy. That is a Catholic classical education school in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I thought, you know, recently I showed a video of it. And I said, you know, I'm going to start doing that from now on. I'm going to show it because there are people coming in all the time, brand new people. They've never seen it before. They don't know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen this video, you need to watch it. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I make the sacrifices that I make. This is why I push as hard as I push every single day. This right here is why, on all levels, on the godly level, you know, heavenly level, eschatological level, the time, the here and now level, the family level, the personal vocation level. You can see it all summed up in this brilliant promotional video that was made for the school. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to start sharing it, man. Basically every day. And then after that, we're moving on. In fact, I got a video where Timothy Gordon said I could use the video. He said, it's for me, man. He said I can use it. So I'm really pumped about that. Got a video from that. Got a video from a couple other people, in fact, that we're going to show. Some people I just connected with just yesterday. So we're going to go ahead and do all of that. But first, we're going to go ahead and show the video here for Sacred Heart Academy, so you can understand not only what I'm doing this for, but also every contribution that you make to this show, even if it's just sharing, even if it's just commenting, no matter what it is ultimately helping in this way. Because not everybody can you know, dole out loot. I understand, especially in these times. I get it, man. And that's why I'm not sitting there trying to pressure everybody, but I want you to be aware. And I want you to be aware every single day, because it also helps me to remain aware every single day and to keep focused on what's most important. And it's right here.
You see me in my uniform, and you think I'm going to school.
You think I'm studying, doing my homework, practicing my Latin. You're not completely wrong. The truth is this. What looks like an academy is in fact where I am learning to dig deep.
To search with an attentive heart what all men seek, but few can name.
Wisdom, knowledge, it's the fountain of life and holiness. A sacred temple, the very house of God and gate of heaven.
What I seek, what I have learned to desire, is the desire of the everlasting hills. I am looking to lose myself in the sacred heart of Jesus.
It may look like I'm going to school, but in truth, I am learning to chase after my Savior, the King and center of all hearts.
And I will not rest
until I take hold of him,
who has already taken hold of me.
We will find a way. We will find a way. It goes straight to the heart. Goes straight to the heart.
That is where my kids go. Forming saints and leaders. I love it with all my heart. You guys don't know. I love it with all my heart. And it drives me every day. In fact, that video is so powerful. It is so powerful because it cuts to the very heart of everything. The very heart of everything. I absolutely love it. So maybe one of the greatest promos ever made, man. I'm just going to say it. I absolutely love it. Oh, and I love all you guys for all the support that you give me. And yes, Brian says, waking up is difficult. This show makes it better. Dude, I'm really, really grateful. I'm really grateful for you saying that. And I got to say to everybody right now, I promised that I wouldn't go into detail about exactly what's going on. But many of you may be familiar. I mentioned Brian. I mentioned Cherie. They're the parents of the children in the Wolfpack video, right? And apart from mine, I mean, mine's little Louie at the end, that kind of thing at the end. But Brian and Cherie, I mean, I've gone a long way back with Brian. He's a really great guy. And recently, some things happened. They discovered some things going on medically, and he needs prayer. And he asked me, he said, don't say exactly what it is. He said, I don't want pity. I don't want pity. I just want you to know, for one. And number two, for the Wolfpack to know. And so we need to keep Brian in prayer. Okay? Just keep him in prayer. And just ask God to be with him, to be with his family through this time, and that the best possible outcome could happen, because he's an amazing guy. He's an amazing friend. In fact, he's one of the greatest friends that a man could possibly ask for. And he's an awesome dad, and he's an amazing husband, and he's been through a lot of things. In fact, his mom recently passed away. And she was a supporter, man. She used to send me messages all the time telling me how much she loves us and stuff. And you're just a really cool person in a really cool family. And so please just keep Brian in prayer. Keep Brian in prayer. And James says, without doxing yourself, where is Sacred Heart, and do you recommend it? Dude, I am doxed. I'm all over. I'm in Grand Rapids. I've put all my information out there. I've kind of pulled an Eminem technique, right? Eminem from a movie that's one of the worst movies maybe ever made, 8 Mile. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. I don't even encourage anybody to watch it. I'm like, it's pathetic, dude. And Eminem barely says a word. He just kind of sits there and looks all emo-ish, kind of the whole time. And it's really annoying. But in that movie, there's he ends up doing something that was brilliant. And what it was putting himself out there in a rap battle where he's mocking himself. I mean, just dragging himself through the mud. And that way, it made it impossible. I mean, what was the other guy going to do? What was the other guy going to say? And I put myself out there in that way. I said, look, I am who I am. There ain't no hiding. How many Jeremiah Bannisters are there? How many are there, man? And Sacred Heart Academy, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Grand Rapids, Michigan. It is an amazing school. It is so powerful, man. Yeah, what's my social then? You're asking for a friend. Okay, so maybe I haven't put it all out there, but it is, they've got the mix-ins they've got all of the make-ins for it. I mean, so they could, if someone wanted to dox me, they could do that. I mean, that's just, they've doxed bigger people. They've doxed bigger people and even more obscure people. And so, to put my information out there, if they do that would be really tragic, by the way. It's an unfortunate thing, but I've had people come at me before. In fact, I've had racist weirdos come at me. They put pictures of my kids to warn all of their fellow racists that my kids, while they look white, are actually mixed blood. You want to talk about war? Dude, I went to town on those folks, dude. They go by the term kinist. I don't even know if they're really around anymore. They were kind of big for a minute there and by big I mean they had a presence on Zanga. And they were big enough that it caused some issues in the Calvinist sphere of Protestant Christianity. But yes, dude, I definitely recommend Sacred Heart. I recommend the church too. The church is committed to the idea of creating and preserving Catholic culture. And so, the kind of tradition that we have, even in the symbols, even in the vestments, even in the fact that we have sisters, right, that are at the school. And they wear traditional vestment too. So they wear a traditional attire. And so, very, very, very cool. The whole place, man. We have Latin Mass, and we have the ordinary form as well. But there's no Dorito Mass or Clown Mass at our church. Okay, there's none of that crap going on. We don't have any girl altar servers either. And so, it's a very, very solemn thing all the time. We even have been doing sung high masses. We've got a choir that sings in Latin, just beautiful. I mean, the whole thing is amazing. Alrighty. So, I said I was going to talk real quick. I'm going to show this. So apparently Timothy Gordon, my buddy Timothy Gordon, he apparently he had some remarks about the Proud Boys, right? He was talking about the Proud Boys because he went down to the Stop the Steal rally in Washington, D.C. He was one of the guys that contacted me and asked if I was going and said, look, man, I'd love to see you. And I would have loved to see him too. We didn't have enough loot. And plus, it was kind of a late thing. It's actually amazing if you think about it, how many people were actually there on such a late notice with so little time. It's remarkable. Imagine how many people would have been there if you would have had even, let's say, 2 months. Let's even say 1 month. Imagine how many people would have been able to be there. But we weren't able to go. But he went and he was talking about Antifa. He was talking about BLM. He's talking about the violence being done and the crazy protesters. We showed a bunch of videos. But the thing is apparently he got a lot of people. There was a horde of individuals who were really upset. Panties in a bunch. All grumpy town over the idea that he defended the Proud Boys. How dare you, Tim? How dare you, Tim? And he felt, he was pressured. He was pressured pretty hard, man. So he ended up making a video talking about it. And I got to show it, man. I've got to show it, guys. And, you tell me what you think about it. Tell me what you think about it. And what if you think that it's appropriate, and how I should feel now. You guys know my position on the boys. You know my involvement with the boys. You guys have seen it. I don't hide that. I got the Perry. That's the way it works. I even have my Proud Boy Memento Mori pin, the skull. If you look really close, it's got a rooster on there. And the crown is black and yellow. And so, I'm not hiding it. I ain't hiding it. And so tell me, what do you think? I want to hear your thoughts about this when it's over. Here we go. Oh, sorry about that. Wrong one.
Let me start by saying I made a tweet in support of the PBs on the day or maybe 2 days after the rally, and that offended some Catholics. I want to take this opportunity to not apologize for my PB comments and to tell you to go pound sand if you don't like it. Let's observe a moment of silence for you getting out of your chair and pounding sand. If you don't like the idea that defensive force is a good and holy thing, and that as things are inching closer to conflict domestically here in America, God bless anyone. And they're not. There's not alt-right, and I don't want to talk about exceptions. The rule exception makes bad law. There's a good organization on the whole that is defensive of all colors, all creeds. Major Catholic started it and tells them not to abuse themselves and encourages them. I'm not saying he's perfect or the perfect Catholic, but he encourages them against self-abuse, toward marriage, it's good stuff. But you don't even have to be Catholic. It's not a Catholic organization. It's all colors, all creeds. You just have to believe in defensive force, protect the weak, which is what they do. And you know what? I'll tell you one thing now. If blue city police forces are going to be standing down and even tipping their hand to the terrorists, which they are, which turned my stomach, then all the more I support the PVs. I've supported them since I first heard about them. I love this idea. Remember back in the late 80s and early 90s on the New York subway? All of America loved the Guardian Angels. I never even had been to New York. But I heard about the Guardian Angels, and everyone loved talking about them. Oh, these guys just ride the subway all day, and they make sure that muggers aren't taking after innocent women and children. That's cool. Hell yeah, that's cool. You bet. That's what these guys are.
So there's the deal. There is the deal. I didn't know it'd be such an abrupt stop. I had no idea it'd be such an abrupt stop, man. But that's the thing. That is the thing about this, is that he's totally right, by the way. He's totally right. And I don't know if I got you on that or not. I don't know if I got you on that. You know, kind of priming you for the idea that he's like, he's questioning, he's doubting, he's not supporting the boys. You don't understand him. You don't understand him. I was so happy, man. My wife actually shared that with me. She saw it on Parler. And she's like, look, you made a video about it. You got to reach out to him. And so I did. I reached out to him and I asked him, I said, man, am I able to share this? I texted him. And he goes, dude, it's for you, bro. It's for you. You can go ahead and share it away, man. Raise that standard high. And so we got to share that, man. We got to support him. And if you want to support him, you absolutely must. On Parler, and it's Timothyology, right? And so I don't know if I've got it. I don't know if I got it popped up here. Let's see here. No. So yeah, look up Timothy Gordon. You can find him on Twitter. You can find him on YouTube, and you can find him, of course, on Parler. He's a really great guy. He's on the front lines, and he's a testament too, by the way, to not agreeing 100% with people, but understanding the alliance that's necessary in times like our own. And so he's, in that regard, it's not even a doubt, man. He is the man. I definitely support him. Oop. Sorry about that. Hold on a second. Yeah, okay. I do that, man. I always forget to turn it off, man. Always forget to turn it off. So I got this yesterday, and I wanted to share this. We're talking about people who are on the front lines, right? Doing things that are awesome. And this one here is a guy. Actually, do I have that up here? No, I don't have it up there. I thought I had it scooched forward. Let me see if I can get it scooched forward. Because they end up, there we go. So, okay, right here, Us Against Media. And if you want to support these guys, go find them on Facebook. Make sure to like their page, Us Against Media. Okay, they were live. And it says, we're tired of this treasonous crap. Look how we decided to storm the governor's mansion. It's totally true. And look, guys, this is the way this is going to play out. Because it's treasonous, man. And we're seeing, even today. Even today, I got a message on my phone. Did you guys get this alert too, if you're in Michigan? Public safety alert. Public safety alert. MDHHS COVID-19 update order requiring face masks and limiting gatherings to save lives starts today. Okay? So, what does it say here? Hold on. New limits on indoor residential gatherings, bars and restaurants open for outdoor dining and carry out only. Colleges and high schools must end in-person classes. For more information, you can go visit blah, 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 blah. You can go visit blah, 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 blah. Because this is all a joke, man. This is all a ridiculous joke. And people are standing up. And I how long have I said it, guys? How long have I said that they don't even understand what's coming? If they sit there and they tinker with an economy like this. And look at how many businesses are wiped out. And when you say businesses, it's easy to forget this. You're talking livelihoods. Livelihoods. They simply don't care about life. We're dealing with a death cult. So they sit there and this is what's so crazy is it's kind of like abortion, where they'll sit there and they'll say, well, yeah, we support the murder of babies. We support that all the way up and through the womb. Okay, we support that. But really, we're doing it because we support the mother being able to live that life, right, of doing what they want, right? If they say, well, this is my choice. And so they frame it in a way that it has to do with saving a life. And you sit there and you say, yeah, but it's kind of resulting in, I don't know, a holocaust of children. It's kind of resulting in the death of tons and tons of black children. By the way, just to let you know, with Kanye West, he was totally right, man. It's black genocide. It is black genocide. And so you sit there and you say, but the way they frame it, same thing with coronavirus. They talk about it, well, this is how we're saving lives. And you go, well, wait a second. You are actually, they have to accept this, that in anytime they do this, there is no free lunch. And this is a problem in the brain of so many Democrats, man. They believe in a free lunch. Look at the way they toss around the word free all the time. They don't understand cost. And if they do, it makes them really cynical. I'm trying to actually give them the benefit of the doubt that they don't understand the cost. When they say free public schooling, it's not free. That's why we're constantly being asked to give more money. And by give, I mean, taxes and stuff. That's what I mean. And so they're like, well, we're going to put it to a vote. Can we take the money so that you can, pay for kids to go to public school? And also for those of you like us, you got to also pay to send your kid to private school. While other parents may not pay any taxes at all, and they can send theirs. So it's not really like it's number one. It's not a voluntary thing. Number two, it sure as heck ain't free. But that's the way they frame it. So almost everything that they do, it suffers from that kind of doublespeak, from that gobbledygook that just out of their mouth. It's pretty gross. It's actually maybe a talent. I'm like, dude, I didn't know you could actually, have so much diarrhea come out of your mouth. There's got to be a lot of internal problems. You got to have a real problem with some of those organs, or I don't know, maybe your soul. But right here is it John Clore. He shared Us Against Media. Right here, day 9, Stop the Steal rally at Gretchen Whitmer's mansion. Oh, and do you see, by the way, look at the fencing all around the house. Look at the fencing all around the house. She's one of those people who will go out and talk about, oh, she doesn't understand that what is true. By the way, she has security. She has video cameras. The whole place is rigged up. The entire place is rigged up. And she's driving traffic through a passageway where you're able to identify who the person is and what they're there for. And yet she doesn't consider the exact same thing for, I don't know, illegal immigration. That's exactly what that is. It's traffic control. It's saying you don't just want anybody walking up on your house, and in this case, the country. And you say, we kind of want to know who you are. We kind of want to know why you're here. We kind of want to know, what are your intentions? Because citizenship matters, and because law matters, because culture matters. That's why. That's why we have the rules even regarding citizenship, with the oaths that you take and the expectations that are there in the process to get to that point where you become an American citizen. But look, she's got it all around her house. So she knows how this works. But yet politically, she's a joke. She is either, she's not oblivious. I'm so sorry. I'm not going to give it to her. She's not oblivious. She's not oblivious at all. She knows this. She's cynical, and she's a piece of crap. And I really hope that we just completely remove her swiftly. That we swiftly remove her because she is acting as though she's an empress.
Hello, Gretchen. We are here peacefully. Gretchen, can you hear us? Are you here, Gretchen? We are here to hold you accountable peacefully. How many seniors, Gretchen Whitmer? Ready?
Yeah, look at the gate.
On a charged fence.
On a charged fence. Yeah.
We will expose you.
Yeah, and they're recognizing the hypocrisy, by the way, on the wall. They're recognizing the hypocrisy on the wall. And you know what's funny? Look at this. Look at how this plays out. Let's zoom back in on this bugger. Let's see. U.S. against media, day 9. Right here. See the results and other info about the 2020 U.S. election. And we're going to talk about that, actually, because we're going to see exactly how the media is manipulating the daylights out of everybody. And how, I mean, they were put on point yesterday. They were put on point. They said, look, they were challenged. In fact, Ted Cruz had a great one, right? Ted Cruz, Senator Hawley, you know, they have really great interactions. And to me, one of the larger takeaways, not only was Zuckerberg's inability and absolute refusal to be honest about what goes on behind the scenes and putting himself in a place where he's not willing to commit at all when he's actually under oath, but he's willing to talk after. We'll connect with you later. No, you're here right now, chump. You're here right now. And those questions were devastating. In fact, if you heard Zuckerberg, it was a joke. This is obviously, they've been outed. They're done. Whistleblowers providing information as to what goes on behind the scenes. We're going to talk about it, but not just that. But, Jack Dorsey from Twitter, old Jack. Jack is full of crap. Jack is full of crap when he's asked, why is it that you can see tweet after tweet after tweet that the president, that they're putting these election result little notifications. They're doing it on Facebook too. They do it with all of my videos. They do it with all of them. And he said it's to engage in a broader conversation. And I'm going to show you why we know that that's a lie. It's really simple. And this is the thing. So much of what these people do, and they can be sly. I'm not saying they can't be tricky. It's a difficult thing to get to the bottom of their schemes. It can be a difficult thing. But the truth is, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's as easy as a simple comeback. And I'm going to show you the simple comeback that I gave on Twitter that exposes, completely devastates. There's no response to it. It's over. It's over. And it's so simple. It's simple. It's definitionally true. We're seeing people not just in the United States, but all over the world. Here, for example, is one. Let's see here. Let's get this bugger zoomed in. And actually, I'm gonna go ahead and put this. I'm gonna go ahead and put the news one on here first. I'll go ahead and do that for a second. So as you can see over here at Breitbart, hundreds of French Roman Catholics gathered across the country to protest the closure of French churches under Wuhan coronavirus lockdown measures. Protests took place in multiple cities across the country over the weekend, demanding that the government allow Sunday masses to take place. Look, we need more of this, by the way, guys. We need more of this. We need churches. We need Christians to gather together. We need people of any faith. In fact, in the United States, any faith that is being pressured. Because I've seen videos of police peeking into synagogues with cameras. I've seen it, man. I mean, that's and we saw what happened even with the summer camps and stuff going on with them. So it's, any group that's being affected by this, we need to realize that insofar as that's concerned, we are actually being affected in the same way by an authoritarian regime, by ultimately a color revolution that is intent on the Great Reset. It's what it is. So we need more and more and more of this. Look at the people that have gathered. Are you able to speak to people at your church and say, look, we need to go and we need to protest outside of the city hall. We need to go and protest outside the government buildings. We need to stand there peaceably. We need to sing songs maybe we even have in common. Sing those songs. We need to demonstrate that we are not going to take it. Because the answer that we get And this has been true from the beginning. This has been true from the beginning. We saw it with de Blasio, and it happened again recently, man, where they were talking. In fact, it might be in this article. Let me see if it is. If it is, French Interior Minister. Yeah, it's right here. Okay. Gerald Darmanin, whatever, also released a statement regarding the protest saying, quote, "Of course, freedom of religion is very important." This is all you got to say, by the way. This is all you got to say. Of course, freedom of religion is important. You know what's coming after that. It's a big, fat, freaking butt. That's what you got to know. And lo and behold, look at this. He added, but life is more important than anything. And life is about fighting coronavirus. Well, we know where he stands insofar as his religious worldview. We know where it stands. We know where it stands. He has a disconnect between the idea that the way that we honor God or dishonor God has ramifications on people. He's completely severed it. His worldview is a complete separation in a Kantian way of the divine and what we see here in the world. He's an eminentist. Right? Everything is within the frame. Everything's within the frame. Everything else outside there, that's just fideism. That's just fideism. And that there's no consequence. There's no consequence for a nation. And you sit there and you say, that's not the God I serve, by the way. That's not the God I serve, which is why this globalist secular regime, why it's not about being neutral. I did an entire video on the myth of neutrality in this regard. There is no neutrality in this regard. It's an imperialistic worldview. And they want everybody else under the thumb. Where are you? Where's your church? Okay, Adam Heikela. Adam Heikela, man. He's a buddy of mine. He's also somebody who's he is a buddy of the show, man. Actually, let's go ahead. I'm gonna go to the circle here because I'll ditch out here for about a minute while he's doing this. Okay, because I want you to be able to see the whole thing. I want you to be able to see the entire thing. Yeah, we're gonna transition that bugger. We're gonna transition this. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and play this. Let me make sure I've got it queued up. Okay. Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and play this. And if you're not following Adam, you must. Adam's a really great guy. His wife, Bethany, is also an amazing person. In fact, she's maybe one of the most rabid supporters of the show. She's a definite freaking geek, man. She's a bona fide diva in the Paleo Naughty. We're really grateful to have her along for the ride. Very, very, very grateful for her. So here is Adam, Mr. And by the way, this is Mr. and Mrs. Patriot. Okay? They're the ones in the eagle outfit. Very exciting. So this is what he looks like when he's not, wearing the eagle outfit. That's what he looks like. So we're going to go ahead and play this right now. Let me go ahead and skip out of here. Let me skip out of here for a moment.
Let's take a look at where we are here in Michigan. This graph shows our cases per million lined up with actions that my administration has taken over the past 8 months. The furthest line to the right shows when the Supreme Court issued their ruling, striking down the law under which I issued.
All right, everyone, I just wanted to show you this really quickly, that the governor is not able to play God. The governor is not in control of the spread of a virus. Her laws are doing nothing but destroying businesses, destroying lives, and destroying families. This is what a normal chart looks like when you look up the cold and flu season for each year. But when you make the months match up with the governor's chart here, the amazing thing is that it looks exactly the same. It looks exactly the same as a normal cold and flu season. Stop listening to the governor. Open your businesses. Go to Thanksgiving with your families. Enjoy the time that you have together. She is a liar.
We talked about that, by the way. We talked about the idea that if you look at it, Timothy Gordon, here we go. I thought I had it earlier. If you're not following him, by the way, if you're not following him on Parler, there he is. Yeah, Timothyology. So TimothyEeeology. And you can see him there. Yep, Stop the Steal rally. And is it the Kraken or the Kraken? I think is it the Kraken? What is it, man? What is it, man? But you got to follow him. But we talked about the fact that statistically, you can look at the flu, and they did this recently. They did it recently on Laura Ingraham, where they talked about the flu numbers, and historically, the flu numbers during this portion of the year would be, let's say 1,000 cases, that you've got going to the hospital, stuff like that. And this time it was like, or was it people who died? Anyway, it was like 69 or 67, something like that. Okay. And you say, wow, it kind of looks almost as if, there's barely over one case per state in a time when normally there's over 1,000. I think it was even over 1,500. I thought it was in the 1,600s. It was something big. It was more than 1,000. And you go, what's up with that? What's up with that? And so I'm really grateful that he took that graph and said, because you can see the way that graphs can be manipulated. You can see it with the idea that, well, look at this spike. Oh my gosh, look at the spike. Look how crazy this is. And you go, okay, well, here's a graph for every year when we've tracked what's going on with the flu. Here's how the graph works. Now let's line them up according to their month. You say, because this right here is it's a limited scope. That's all it is. You're being presented an impartial picture. And so you match it up and you go, wow, it fits within the lines for what we know goes on, with the flu every single year. And so you look at it and you say, you cannot trust the way that it's being presented to you. You simply cannot trust it. And you have to be able to trust the numbers and say, the numbers as they stand right now, it affects different groups differently. But even the groups that it affects the worst are, by and large, it's going to make, if you end up getting it, a lot of times you're going to get pretty sick. I know some folks, man, who got pretty sick. And there have been people who've died of it. And I think that it's one of those things where we haven't really taken into account the fact that there have been years where tons of people have died from the flu. And people with pre-existing conditions. It's amazing to watch how people think that this is something brand new. It's simply not. It's simply not. That's why my daughter, I've said it before, it's why my daughter, when she was going through treatments for brain cancer, and she was on chemo, radiation, things like that, she had to go get Pentam treatments. It was this gross vapor you had to, inhale for a while. She hated it. They gave her some Jolly Ranchers and stuff, right? But nobody likes it. Even with the Jolly Rancher, it's still gross. And you got to inhale it. And why? Because you could end up getting pneumonia. And if you got pneumonia and you were going through chemo or going through radiation, or you had cancer or diabetes or AIDS or a number of other problems, okay, heart disease, you name it, that you had a high risk of mortality. And so they made sure to try to, beef up your ability to fight that off and to not get it. And you were advised, in fact, to take certain precautions because of your susceptibility, because of those pre-existing conditions. That is not new. It's not new. The conversation is, and that's what's frustrating. It's not just troubling. It's frustrating. It's infuriating because these individuals act as though this is like something that's unique to COVID. It's simply not. And they're not even processing, because they don't understand that. They're not processing the way that would affect their protocols and measures, and the reason for those protocols, the reasons for those measures, how that would impact the general conversation, even beyond COVID, which is Great Reset talk, by the way. That's Dr. Fauci talk, by the way. We ain't ever going back to the old normal. We're going to stick with this idea. We're going to hug each other through some plastic wrap. It's infuriating. And if you don't believe me, by the way, check out how this works. Keemstar wrote, "What in the Alex Jones did the mayor of Chicago just say?" You got to see this to believe it.
Prerogative works is there's got to be compliance with the executive branch, because otherwise it doesn't work. So you got to eliminate that compliance, and you make it a mandate, and then you do training, particularly in the city. I'll call them licensing departments, whether it's zoning, buildings, housing will be impacted by it, planning certainly, and you pick the people that run those agencies and the deputies that are pledging allegiance to the new world order and good governance. And then I think you have the Inspector General.
I'm sorry for that. Hold on.
To make sure
we need to go back here. Did you hear what she said? Did you hear what she said?
The people that run those agencies and the deputies that are pledging allegiance to the New World Order and good governance.
Yeah, what in the Alex Jones? what in the Alex Jones? I use the phrase, I'm unafraid, because it's real. It's real. And she's in on it, man. Listen to that. You have to pick people at all these different levels of governance. You need to make sure that all those people in all those different levels, that all those people have pledged allegiance to the New World Order and good governance. Good governance in her mind, by the way, is telling everybody to stay home and shaming people for going out during times of COVID and then going and getting her hair cut and saying that the reason why is because she's the nasty face of Chicago. It's what she does. She's a raging hypocrite. How many times, by the way, has she been busted? How many times? You got Democrat after Democrat after Democrat getting busted left and right. New World Orderite after New World Orderite. And why is that? Why is that? Because those laws apply to you, not to them. Not to them. Here's another hypocrite, by the way. Democrat Governor Gavin Newsom, California, last Friday was forced to issue a statement after he got caught breaking his own authoritarian COVID order. The San Francisco Chronicle reported that Gavin Newsom and his wife attended a birthday party with at least a dozen people from several different households for his advisor, Jason Kinney, last week. Oh, it's amazing, isn't it, guys? Isn't it predictable, though? Isn't it just predictable? This guy, he has a very punchable face, doesn't he? Doesn't he? Haven't you just learned to loathe some of these people? It's an unfortunate thing. It's an unfortunate thing that we have to fight against that. Newsom attended a dinner party at French Laundry, a restaurant in Napa Valley that charges $800 per person. Oh, so yeah, again, the New World Ordites. These are it's the Great Reset crowd. It's the crowd that will, the two-tier system of justice. That's the crowd that they're not going to be penalized at all. They're not going to have any problem. Why isn't French Laundry, by the way? Why isn't French Laundry just, totally cleaned out? They violated the orders, didn't they? Didn't they violate it? And what, they did it for the money? Isn't that what every single business does their business for? They're doing it for, in part at least, doing it for the money. And you've told business after business. Look, my dad's business is that entire sector, right? He's in travel. That entire sector is struggling so badly. They can't open their doors. And yet at the same time, they still have to pay for the doors. They have to pay rent. So you're legally limited, in some cases not even allowed, and yet you're legally required to continue paying. And they're bleeding out, man. Buses being taken by the banks. Coming in, man, the repos coming in and saying, you haven't paid. And they're holding on for life, man. They're holding on for life. And in fact, it's funny because Newsom on Monday, it's not funny, it's all the more enraging, because Newsom on Monday afternoon announced a new authoritarian COVID lockdown order, and he punished conservative Orange County by moving it into the most restrictive tier, which will close indoor dining, gyms, etc. Where's the video of him talking, man? We got to see the video. Is this it here?
Ago, I was asked to go to a friend's 50th birthday. My wife and I, a friend that I've known for almost 20 years, and
look at his face. I've known him for almost 20 years. We were invited to go to a birthday party. I'm not in any trouble because I'm the authoritarian dictator. I'm the dictator that is telling everybody else what to do and not living by those same rules.
A friend that had put a lot of time and energy into his 50th birthday.
Oh, he put a lot of time and energy, guys. He put a lot of time and energy. How about this? People put a lot of time and energy into their business, you scumbag. People put a lot of time and energy into their churches. People put a lot of time and energy into what they have to do to survive. And this isn't even about survival. This is about him buddy chumming it up on a birthday. Just think for a moment, guys. Just think for a moment about the kind of excuses that these people make. The kind of exceptions that they make. You can't make an exception for what you do for a business, for what you've invested in, and you give sweat and tears. Every day, man, you are at the grind every single day doing your best to survive and thrive. And him, on the other hand, he's comfy. He's comfy and secure. So secure that he doesn't mind going to a birthday party.
It was in Napa, which was in the orange status, relatively loose compared to some other counties. It was to be an...
Isn't that convenient too? His buddy. Yeah, his buddy, by the way. It's relatively loose. Oh, it's relatively. Oh, I hear you. This is entirely just making excuses.
Restaurant, and we started the program started at 4 o'clock. It was one of those early reservations. I got there a little bit late at 4:30.
Who cares?
And as soon as I sat down at the larger table, I realized it was a little larger group than I had anticipated. And I made a bad mistake. Instead of sitting down, I should have stood up and walked back, got in my car, and drove back.
Oh, but he didn't. Oh, but he didn't. And you want to know what? He wouldn't have said a stinking thing if he wouldn't have been caught. He wouldn't have said a stinking thing if he wouldn't have been caught. He would have kept that on the old DL. He would have kept it on the DL, man. Because, you know why he didn't get up and leave? Because he doesn't care. Because he doesn't care. Those rules do not apply to him.
To my house. Instead, I chose to sit there with my wife and a number of other couples that were outside the household. And you can quibble about the guidelines, et cetera, but
you can quibble about it. You can quibble about it. It's not a quibble, man. It's not a quibble. It is authoritarian bullcrap. You are a dictator. You are a dictator, dude. You are a pathetic goon. A complete loser. Just look at his face.
The spirit of what I'm preaching all the time was contradicted, and I got to own that. And so I want to apologize to you.
The spirit. How about the letter of the law, you scumbag? How about the letter of the law? Do you see every single thing he says is a deflection? Every single thing. It's grotesque hypocrisy. Put it in the same bucket list as all of the people. All of the governors who went out and marched with a ton of people kneeling like ours next to somebody who wasn't wearing a mask. And then going on and telling people who do not support that and do not side with her side of the political aisle, telling them you're not allowed to come out. And not just that you can't, but that if you do, you're a racist. You might even be a murderer. Or the people who don't say a word about the violence going on in our streets. Don't say a word about all of the businesses that are being smashed in. They don't say a word. They don't say a word. But if you show up at the Capitol steps and you have yourselves a legal firearm, all of a sudden you might be a Klansman. You might be a member of the KKK. It's outrageous, guys. Or how about this? Or add it, like I said earlier, to the mayor, the grotesque face of Chicago. They get what they deserve, by the way. They get what they deserve. That's a long time coming. It's just gotten grosser and grosser as it's gone down. And the thing is telling everybody and shaming everybody, going on video and shaming everybody, and then doing things that completely violate that person's very order. Or take Schumer. Take any of the senators who've gone getting haircuts, walking around without masks. Let's see here. It's outrageous, man. It's outrageous. Zuckerberg and Feinstein discussed the U.S. Ministry of Truth program. Earlier today, there was an interesting discussion between the senators and Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg. For example, pertaining to the Stop the Steal group, about initiating a conversation about a new U.S. program similar to the Ministry of Truth. However, it was a very specific part of the response from Zuckerberg that carries the tell. And we got to watch it, guys. You got to watch it because this is crazy.
After President Trump falsely claimed that the election was being stolen, a group called Stop the Steal.
And real quick, just because it's going to come up, you sit there and you say the false narrative, right? We're going to talk about this, and because specifically with Jack Dorsey said that he's putting all of the things at the bottom, right? This claim is disputed. Or, you know, these people have called this and that, even though they'd have no authority. I mean, who cares, by the way? Who cares if they do? That's not the authority in our republic that actually makes that decision with the mainstream media. You know, but the conversation about that Jack Dorsey said we're including and involving people who see these tweets into a larger conversation. Number one, that's a total lie. And we know it's a total lie in part because they ain't going to fact check stuff like this. And say they're not going to fact check it, and I'll explain here in a moment why.
Was started on Facebook.
So we're gonna scooch ahead and see what Zuckerberg's talking about.
In less than a day, site violence.
Senator, I'm very worried about this, especially any misinformation or content that could incite violence. And during such a volatile period like this, one of our top priorities is making sure that people don't use our platform to organize any violence or civil unrest. And that was the basis under which we took down that group because there were a number of members who were posting.
By the way, I'm sorry, I'm coming back. He says, "Oh, we didn't want to allow any spread of violence." You know it's a lie. You know it's a lie, and how do we know? Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. They are a major booster, by the way. They are a major booster, and yet you can go and you can look, and they can say, "Oh, you know, most of it was peaceful." Okay, how many riots? How many cities had riots? And that's not even including how many had more than one. We talked about it already. We broke it down. And you sit there and you say, look at the grotesque amounts of violence that are committed by these groups, and then look at the inaction done by him. And he's going to blame groups like QAnon. Are you serious? Are you out of your freaking mind? Like, you can't even compare them. Go show me. Where are they out there, man? You go and you look. I've said this before. I don't want to have to share this stuff, man. This sucks. This sucks. But I'm the guy that goes on Telegram, and I go to the fringes to find all of the most controversial things, to evaluate them, and to say, look, these are example after example after example after example of public violence being done against other people because of the color of their skin, because of the political position that they maintain, or the president that they support. And I can tell you right now, it is not looking good for folks who support Black Lives Matter. And by not looking good, I'm talking it would offend you. It would offend you so bad. I know a guy on Twitter. He ended up sharing this long list of examples of people just getting beat down by large groups of individuals, pulled out of their cars, kids punched in the face, even little kids being punched in the face, kicked in the face. Violence being done against individuals who do not support Black Lives Matter by people who do support Black Lives Matter. Violence being done by people who support Joe Biden against people who support Donald Trump. And there was so much of it, the people in the comment section, it was just, the thread was massive. Massive. You keep thinking it's over. You're like scrolling down thinking, oh my gosh, dude. When is it going to end? And it just didn't. It was one after another after another. And these are all recent. There's no need to go far back. And you sit there and say, why am I not seeing any of that on the news? For the same reason you're not seeing cops on the news anymore, I guess. Or cops on TV. So sorry about that. Because you'll see them on the news now. You'll see cops on the news, and they're taking a knee because they're cultists. A lot of these departments, the heads of these departments, have joined the woke cult, which is especially worrisome because we see throughout history. We study history to see what happens when a woke cult ends up doing that whole sadomasochistic crap against different institutions within the hierarchy of society and our political economy. And you see and you say, does it ever turn out good? I can tell you right now, no. No, it does not. Which is why I told people yesterday, if you should do anything right now, other than the obvious, pray, love your family, work really hard, go buy some guns. Go buy some guns. I mean it.
Potentially violent or encouraging violent comments that violated our policies. We also have broader policies in place around trying to slow the spread of misinformation more broadly, even when it's not going to lead to some kind of violence or imminent harm. And that's why we've created this independent fact-checking program where we work with more than 80 partners around the world to help do fact-checking, because people in our community have told us they don't want to see misinformation, but they also don't want us to be deciding what is true and false. So we've taken the step of building this program, which I believe is more sophisticated than what anyone else in our industry has. So I'm very focused on these issues.
Yeah, he's very focused on those issues. Have you felt it yet? Have you felt it yet? Because that's what they're all about, by the way. That is what they are all about. Breaking. Democratic Senator calls on Mark Zuckerberg to remove conservative Facebook pages, including Breitbart, Gateway Pundit, and Steve Bannon. Oh, yeah, Senator Dick Blumenthal. What a loser, by the way. That guy, again, and I hate, calling people cuckoo crazy. I don't hate that, actually. I don't hate that. I kind of enjoy it, man. They're calling him cuckoo crazy. But he's worse than that. He's worse than that. This guy's an absolute scoundrel. He's a New World Orderite. He's part of the death cult, no doubt about it. But he questioned Zuckerberg on why Breitbart and Gateway Pundit, Steve Bannon, why they still have accounts on Facebook. This is over at 100%fedup.com. And, yeah, they got the transcript. Don't they have the video, though? Is there a video of that now? Let's see if this is the video.
Steve Bannon's account.
Senator, no.
Will you commit to taking down that account, Steve Bannon's account?
Senator, no. That's not what our policies would suggest that we should do in this case.
According to the internal,
and you wouldn't even need to, by the way. There's other ways. When they say take it down, that's like a last resort. That's a last resort. And so there's many other ways. In fact, Gateway Pundit has an entire report that they have on. I wish they would take it out from behind the. Is it a paywall, man, or do you just need a membership? Is it scribed? Where they put it together and you can actually see the report that shows the dramatic amount of censorship, blocking, shadow banning that's been done against the most popular pro-Trump websites from 2016, and you can see it. It's very the decline is ridiculously unnatural. It is not organic. It is not organic. You can sit there and go, "Oh yeah, okay." So look at the way that this thing happened, and look at the way that they've been having a hard time sharing it. There's even a video now. Oh, what is it? Is it iPhones or is it Androids? Which one was it? Where they were trying to share pro-Trump links, and now you can't even do it. There were certain pro-Trump links that they were like, nope, you can't share it. And they had both devices, so they're trying to share between both devices. Wasn't happening. So now they're even censoring that.
Records that are on the record now, leaked by NBC News. Facebook has removed fact checks and forgiven infractions for conservative pages and pundits such as Breitbart, Donald Trump Jr., Eric Trump, and Gateway Pundit, based on a fear of accusations of bias.
Yes. Yes. And you know why? Because the accusation of bias sticks. Because the accusation of bias sticks, man. That's how that works, man. That's how that works. And we're going to see more of it, guys, because you got to remember, this is a little bit of a throwback. But this was New York Times. Biden readies attack on Facebook's speech policies. The campaign will urge its supporters to push the social media giant to strengthen its rules against misinformation and harmful comments. Ain't that a thing, by the way? Ain't that a thing? You know what you won't see? You won't see them cut down on anything to do with bashing against whiteness or the founding fathers or people who supported Donald Trump. You won't see that at all. It's because, again, there is no neutrality here. When you do this, you are becoming a publisher. That's just the way it works. You are becoming a gatekeeper. You are saying one group's allowed, and the other group, I'm so sorry, you're out of here. You're out of here. Apparently, the campaign is back in the day. Will circulate a petition and an open letter to Mark Zuckerberg to change the company's hands-off approach to political speech. Now listen to this. Real changes to Facebook's policies for their platform and how they enforce them are necessary to protect against a repeat of the role that disinformation played in the 2016 election and that continues to threaten our democracy today. And again, this comes down to what somebody believes is misinformation. They believe this is the ministry of truth, by the way. This is how this works. And in order to have a ministry of truth in this way, you're going to have some idea regarding infallibility. You will. You're going to need to have some idea regarding infallibility, that it has been settled, this person cannot be questioned, this organization, and you're going to have to show preference. Because you're going to have people who disagree over how that plays itself out. So the government wants a ministry of truth. The move puts the Biden camp in the center of a raging debate about the role and responsibility of tech platforms. Civil rights leaders, Democratic lawmakers, and many of Facebook's own employees say the big tech companies have a responsibility to prevent false and hateful information from being shared widely. Here's the thing. It all comes down to their ethic. Again, there's the worldview again, because they're going to determine what worldview are you relying upon to determine what is hateful information. What worldview is it? Is there any debate? Can we actually have that discussion? Or is that one of those things that is determined by who happens to be in here? Because as we can see, even from Iglesias leaving Vox, right, and heading over to where Glenn Greenwald is, for example, and others. What's the name of that place, by the way? You know, but saying that the media, right, the way that big tech, these big media companies, that they are now these bubbles of beliefs, and it's cultic, and they're like, we can't, you know, and these guys aren't even conservative, and they're being forced out. And you say, so okay, so the worldview that is being advanced by the SJW cult, by the woke cult, that worldview with its ideas on what's true and what's false, their ideas on what is good and what is bad, and their ideas on what is righteous or what is hateful, what ought to be done and not to be done. That's what's going to determine that. That's like so anti-democratic. It is. It's authoritarian. We got to keep moving along. We got to keep moving along here. Yeah, Zuckerberg, yeah, bragging about how, what is this? Yeah, bragging about interfering in election and cracking down on dreadful QAnon so they could not organize violence, but BLM Antifa violence is approved. We already talked about that, but it's totally true. It's totally true. Yes. Oh, here's an update. Speaking of Black Lives Matter violence, violent Black Lives Matter goon who brutally beat innocent Trump supporter unconscious in D.C. is a child sex offender. I showed you guys the video. I showed you the video, and here's the guy. You can see. Let's get a close up of this bugger. Let's get a close up of this guy. Yeah. Actually, hold on. Let me see if I can get even bigger than that. Oh, no, I can't. So okay. So the guy coming up behind him totally clobbers him. That dude ends up on the ground, flat on the ground, and when he's flat on the ground, people are curb stomping him. Right, they're coming up and they're kicking his head straight into the ground. Face first, blam, 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 coming up, kicking him from the side. While he's on the ground, knocked out. Oh, and look at this girl running away. Oh, dang, girl. Dang, girl, your face is right there. By the way, maybe you didn't do anything illegal, but you're a piece of crap. You're a terrible person, by the way. Unless you were running to go tell the police, you suck. You need to take a knee for Jesus Christ, because you and that group of people, you guys might be demoniacs. And come to find out, the protester is a registered child sex offender. Multiple reasons for that guy to take a knee for Jesus Christ. Multiple reasons why. I mentioned this earlier. Yeah, under oath, this is Josh Hawley. Under oath, Zuckerberg admits Facebook does have tools to track its users across the internet, across platforms, across accounts, all without user knowledge. It's frightening, guys. It's frightening. You know, you sit there and you go, well, what do you mean? You're like, so how does that work? So Facebook knows what you're searching across the internet, even when you're not on Facebook. We talked about this before, that sometimes you may see your screen, and even when you've shut off Facebook, Facebook has a little operating symbol at the bottom of the screen. Across platforms. So Facebook even knows what you're doing on Twitter or on Parler or on Telegram. Across accounts. So you have different accounts, doesn't matter. And it does it all without user knowledge. Hawley asked how many times this tool has been used domestically against Americans, but Zuck will not say. And here's a leak, by the way. Facebook whistleblower tells me it's called Centra. Example below. Zuck said he couldn't recall the name. He's only the company's CEO, after all. At first, he didn't even know it was a real thing. But look at this. Linked Instagram accounts. Linked accounts. Device-linked Facebook accounts. Instagram accounts. How many posts? How many friends? How many searches? How many photos? Hateful media. Admin records. Devices. Message receipts. Reports. Tagged photos. Profile photo clusters. Message threads. Let's see. Emily Birnbaum says, Facebook tells me that Centra, the tool that Hawley called out in his line of questioning, is used to aid investigations into subjects like coordinated inauthentic behavior. And Tasks is an internal coordination tool. Zuckerberg described it as an internal to-do list. And of course, Zuckerberg refuses to answer whether Facebook ever uses Centra to track and monitor American citizens. What are we doing, by the way, on Facebook? What are we doing? Let's see. Facebook whistleblower tells me Facebook uses its internal project management system, Tasks, to coordinate censorship with Twitter and Google. Pick of an example task below. Look at this. There's a task. It's the task page. Let's go real quick to the comment section. Oh, yeah, dude, I got it. Okay, yeah. Let's see. Justin Hale says, way to go, Timothy Gordon. Talking about the Proud Boys. Yes, man. Way to go, Timothy. Telling them to pound sand, the haters, the people who are okay. And, you know, by and large, criticisms of Proud Boys are ridiculous. I've heard the so-called experts, you know, the ladies who, you know, maybe they infiltrated. Talk about it, and it is garbage, man. It is garbage. I listened, and I'm like, dude, this is a joke, isn't it? I mean, why is anybody even taking that seriously? I heard a podcast over at Vox, and it just point after point after point broke it down as to how this person doesn't know what they're talking about. Brian says he got the alert from the governor about COVID this morning. Ailey also said she got it. Kathy, hello to the Wolf Pack. Hello to you, Kathy. Very excited about you being here today. I'm glad to see that you are doing better. Yes, we are the Wolf Pack of many. This is by Shirley. Yes, we are. No doubt about it. Zach says they're going to lock down too, Electric Avenue, and then they'll take it higher. Dude, yeah. With a little musical symbol. With a little musical symbol, man. Adam Boyd, $1.2 million. What's that about? Oh, the fence. The fence, yeah. Oh, it already had a fence too. She's been at it for a minute, right? She's been at it for a minute. Yeah, John Clora says she's a hypocrite. Brian says, I think these lockdowns are going in place to try and stop the rallies. Dude, hasn't it always been convenient? Hasn't it always been convenient that they sat there, they pulled it out during election year, and then they're like, we got to keep it going now. And they didn't apply it to the people that were their foot soldiers, to their brown shirts. They were only coming against people on the right. That was it. Talking about, Bethany is saying that Adam is hot with a whole bunch of lovey, some smiley things and strength. Yeah, man. Yeah, Adam is a good-looking guy. No doubt about it. That beard is very manly too, isn't it? Yeah. John agrees. Adam is awesome. He's got the little face. Okay. Let's see here. We're in an economic war on the working class. This is Jose FR. You're totally right, by the way. It is an economic war on the working class, and I think this is one of the ways that Donald Trump showed that, and why the left doesn't understand him. You know, Obama is really confused as to how populists on the right voted for Richie Rich. He doesn't understand him because he's the guy that will go out there. He'll go out there. For one, he is his ideas, the way he talks, even the way he acts and stuff. He doesn't have that polished, and by polished I mean, you know, grotesquely wearing a mask, the pageantry of the upper class, of the elite New World Ordeites. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have that. He has a great deal of ambition. He's a scrapper. That's why, you know, and so you look at it and you say, look, the guy is super scrappy. He's a counterpuncher. He's doing the best he can with what he's got, right? And so he's doing a fantastic job and has made a name for himself. He's been through many different things. He's got a persona, in fact, of strength. And people would say, yeah, but he's really, you know, sensitive and he gets upset about things. If you don't think that that's actually part of the persona, you're nuts. If you don't think it is, if you don't think that's part of the game, I'm sorry to tell you. You're kind of off the ball on that. You know, but the thing is, they don't understand it. And you can look and say, look at the way that the elite class, that doesn't need to go to work, by the way. They've got so much money. They've got money coming out of their ears. They have enough money rolling over month after month after month after month that they could just sit downstairs and never do a single thing for the rest of their life. And they'll be rolling in loot. They'll be rolling in loot. And they even have just on their name alone, just on their past alone, all their investments that they've made because the crooked deals, the crony capitalism, the background shady crap going on with places like Russia, Ukraine, Saudi Arabia. But Donald Trump didn't. Donald Trump, when COVID happened, Donald Trump was the one that was insisting people need to work. And when he dealt with it, when he got it, he did what he needed to do, isolating himself, going in and getting medicine, coming out and assuring people that we cannot be dominated by this. And that we need to go back and to sit there in that iconic moment to take off that mask and say, we will go. We will stand strong on science, by the way. We will stand strong on science and not fear. On the spirit of America and not the diabolical nature of the Great Reset. And because he did that, so many people, working class people, everyday Joes, they were able to see him. They were able to see him and to know and to say, you know what? The thing is that this person understands that he is standing in the gap and saying that no matter what, we can move forward and we must. We cannot simply allow it to crush us and to destroy us. We can't do it. Jose goes on and says, Newsom looks like a mobster. Dude, he is. He's a New World Order thug. Brian, an apology like that from one of us would be laughed at and we'd be punished. Dude, we'd be canceled, bro. We'd be canceled. An apology like Newsom, which, by the way, wasn't an apology at all. It wasn't an apology at all. You know, because he violated the lockdown order. He violated his own. But again, they don't care, man. We are all peons, by the way, to them. They don't mind getting rid of us. These are Georgia Guidestone people. They don't mind manipulating us like pawns because that's actually how they view us. Up in their towers, surrounded by fences and walls, assuring us that we don't need them, assuring us that we don't need to go and continue working. And in the end, why is that? Because in the end, the people like him, who can go about his business rolling in loot, they can supply for us in the end. Haven't you read The Great Reset? Haven't you seen what they got planned for you? Zach says, rules for thee, but not for me. That's exactly what it is, bro. That's the phrase. That's how they treat it, man. That's how they treat it. And you look time after time after time. And who are these people? These people are the fear mongers, man. These people are the fear mongers that are out there telling us that we're all going to die. You're all going to die, guys. Each and every one of you. You're all just going to be wiped out. It's going to be like a bunch of 9/11s. And you know what's crazy about this? What people don't understand is that death from the flu is like multiple 9/11s. Again, they're pretending that this is all brand new. This is the scary monster outside your door. It's the scary monster under your bed. Be very afraid. While they go out and raise their glasses high. They're the same kind of people that when Flint was going through all the problem with the lead, they were the same people as those fat cats who were able to raise clean glasses of water and to drink it as they're rolling in their loot, wiping their rear ends with huge $100 bills. My tropical obsession says, I can't stand listening to those fools. Did I agree, man? Jose, $5 Vivo Cristo Rey. Yeah, Vivo Cristo Rey. Thank you so much, by the way. And do you guys see that? Can you guys see? Let me take myself off the circle here. I want you to see this. You see down there that big blue line? And it's got that kind of nice, kind of greenish blue, that teal color. And it says $5 and under it, Vivo Cristo Rey. Can I make that even bigger? No, I cannot make it bigger than that. So, Vivo Cristo Rey, that right there is a $5 donation to the show. Now, in fairness, I gotta say this. It's actually $2.50. YouTube ends up taking 50%. Unbelievable. Ann Soul, I gotta email you. Yeah, I read it. Definitely love that. Definitely love the email. And if you want to email us, make sure paleocratdiaries@gmail.com. I will try my best. In fact, I'll reply today. So make sure that you check that email. Annan writes, Zuckerberg is an alien demon in disguise. And by the way, he ain't that smart at all. He has to continually blink his eyes. He is a shapeshifter from a demon to human form. I've seen it. Let's see. I've seen it on many clips. Yeah. So yeah, he's definitely a bad guy. He doesn't look very human, does he? Doesn't look very human at all. Let's see here. We'll talk about the voting machines later. I got more things we got to show here. Because there's a whole bunch of news on the voting machines. Just thing after thing. In fact, I'll just go ahead and just show a little bit of this. Cybersecurity expert. The easiest way to compromise election systems is during the manufacturing process. And it's not hard at all. And you know what else isn't hard? Going through, like, the guy, what is his name, Rob? Is he the one that started 4chan? Is that the guy? I forget what he's doing now. But basically, he went through and he read the user manual. So he read the user manual, right? And when he did that for Dominion voting machines, he showed exactly how easy it was. People have gone through the Dominion voting machines for years, way before this, including people on the left, to show exactly how you can manipulate that. Because the manufacturing process, not just the lack of oversight, that you can hack into it. What did they say? 7 minutes? It could take 7 minutes. And not just because there's not people there sometimes when they're fixing the glitches. And you don't have that oversight. You don't have that accountability. Not just because of that, but because the very manufacturing of the machine itself is rigged in order to facilitate this. And we've known it, in fact, for years. Smartmatic director admitted in 2017. And look, guys, if you don't see how this is operating, and this should put to rest any idea of, remember the old debates people had when foreign governments were influencing our election? Do you realize, by the way, that in the lead up to this, you had, FBI, you had all these intelligence groups saying that Russia was trying to come in and sway the election. You saw that. And yet now, do they talk about it at all? No, they don't care. They don't care at all. In fact, they don't even believe it, and that's why they don't care. But Smartmatic director admitted in 2017 that their system was able to create, quote, at least 1 million phantom votes in that year's Venezuela election. Look at that. Kind of weird how it did that. Now, they've got to say one of two things. Either it's because the United States is involved in manipulating those elections, And we've shown that we can do it, in fact, through this exact same kind of machine and software. Or they have to say that the software that's being provided to us is foreign. and still has the ability to do what this guy admitted that it did in another country. Pick your poison, guys. You're choking either way. Since Election Day, over 100 of 243 Dominion employees on LinkedIn have deleted their profiles. Kind of weird, guys. Kind of weird, right? You sit there and you say, how is that, man? How is that, guys? Why would they do that? Why would they, by the way, why would you delete your profile from LinkedIn if you're working for, Dominion? They're on the up and up, guys. They're on the up and up. It's crazy. It's crazy. And you can see they've got screenshots. They've got, look at this. Look at these screenshots, man. In the past few days, 103. This is from an earlier post, apparently. Also of note that all their software engineers were located in Serbia. This is the company that managed the vote counting process and reported vote tallies in the 2020 U.S. election. Yeah, that's one of those things, guys. We are outsourcing a lot of our stuff. And you sit there and you go, I didn't know that. You're learning a lot of new things. We're learning a whole lot right now. Light is being shined on some of the darkest places. The courts will likely overturn the election results in numerous jurisdictions due to voter fraud. In the data is where the amount of election fraud can be quantified and estimated. You can see that with Joe Hoft. In fact, there's a really great video with him and Dr. Shiva talking about the different ways that you can analyze and see the numbers and point to fraud. And not just, and it would be the kind of analysis that you can find even for fraud in different sectors, right? And so you're talking about business, for example. You're talking about Wall Street, that kind of stuff. And you can say, well, yeah, we use these models in order to see how this works. Here's how it would apply here. Oh, dang, that line's looking super artificial. That spread is looking kind of an interesting symmetry going on here. Kind of an interesting symmetry. In fact, so interesting that it is unrealistic. And you should check that out. In 2018 New York Times video, professor shows students how easy it is to hack a Dominion voting machine. It's New York Times, man. These guys ain't playing. And the thing is, what's amazing is that in 2018, we're coming up to the place where we're going to start talking about elections. Did they do a bunch of videos to talk about how that changed? What were the features that made it difficult? Where are all those people that said it's impossible to do, it's not easy to do? In the end, they just don't care. This is frightening, by the way. Right here. Report, Fortune 500 CEOs will intervene if Joe Biden isn't inaugurated by January 20th. Again, masters of the universe. This is the Great Reset crowd. This is the Uniparty crowd, the New World Ordeites. It's who they are. Right? I've loathed them for a very, very, very long time. Executives from Fortune 500 corporations say they are planning to intervene. Oh, good job, guys. How are you going to do that, by the way, if Democrat Joe Biden is not inaugurated into office by January 20th? A report by CBS News states that in a conference call last week, Fortune 500 executives were planning to step in on behalf of Biden to pressure Republican lawmakers if President Trump holds up the former vice president's transition. Now listen to the way they do it. Listen to the way they do it. But if Mr. Trump tries to undo the legal process or disrupts a peaceful transition to power, the CEOs discussed making public statements and pressuring GOP legislators in their states. That doesn't stop the transition. Okay? Action would include threat to stop donations to political action committees or even corporate relocations. Guys, these people are already doing that to us. They're already doing that to us. If you think that they're not doing that to us, you haven't been paying attention to the news. Look at how they use their power as a bully pulpit to say, look, we don't like what we see in your area. We are not going to continue doing certain things there. We're not going to continue shooting movies. We're not going to continue hiring people out of that area. It's amazing, by the way. It's amazing, by the way. In an entire state. Was it Georgia? with the Georgia. All the while, they will continue to do stuff with China, regardless of all of the human rights violations that happen there. Why? Because ultimately, they don't really care. It depends on who's doing those human rights violations. That's what it's about. Barring the debate that can be had over the idea of human rights. And the reason why we're dealing with all of these things, by the way, the reason why is because we're neck deep, as we've said time and time again, in a U.S. color revolution. It's the not so phantom menace. This is over at Gold, Goats, and Guns. The Black Revolution. Oh, dang, son. Yeah, dude, I called it that. I called it that too. I've heard people say the Rainbow Revolution. I've called it the Black Revolution. In the U.S., is proceeding according to script. We are into the third act by this point. Number one was the Corona apocalypse, setting the stage for vastly expanding government powers and systemic undermining of the sitting president. Totally true. Laid the groundwork. No doubt about it. Because you look and you say, well, what was it? What were the mechanisms that were used? You know, what made it possible for all of these, all of the shenanigans to take place? And it all goes back to, the China virus. It's what it all goes back to. It all goes back to the China virus. Act 2 was the summer of violence. And as this guy's on the money, man. Who is this? Tom Luongo? And fake polling data, which created the illusion of a society at war with that same president for not addressing the needs of the people. It was all a fraud, guys. It was all a fraud. But Act 3 is where we are now. Act 3 is the election itself and the aftermath, because the coup has begun. The pressure campaign to force the incumbent president, hated by the establishment, to concede has ratcheted up to 11. This guy might listen to the show. Nobody else uses that phrase. Yeah, right. Buddy. He should listen, especially now that we've talked about him. But one thing happened they don't count on. Trump actually winning the election by margins in swing states that couldn't be overcome without overt and blatant fraud. That's created the opportunity for a complete reversal of the current results and a successful countering of the color revolution strategy, which rests on a media-made frenzy supported by foreign government leaders. We cannot discount this. In fact, because of the votes too, because of the way that foreign governments have loathed this president, because of how many of them are committed to the Great Reset and speech after speech to foreign leaders, to the United Nations, speech after speech was promoting the idea of America, promoting the idea of nationalism. For them, it's really hard. It makes it hard to build the Tower of Babel when everybody's divided up into nations, like the nations that we must convert, the nations that will be there until the end of time. These people, they don't believe in God. They don't believe in, well, if they do, their God is the devil. Their God is the devil. Their heaven is hell. And that's why we got to fight with all of our might, guys. We got to beware because we're going to be dealing. Yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. Let's see. We're running a long time. We only got about 13 minutes. I'll do that one tomorrow. Okay, right here. Okay. Yes. So I said I would talk about this one. So right here, Columbia Bugle. By the way, follow them on Twitter. Senator Ted Cruz questioning Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey about voter fraud. Senator Ted Cruz reads 2 statements and asks Mr. Dorsey whether they would flag them. Mr. Dorsey says they would likely flag them. The statements both come from the Carter Baker Commission on election reform. Oh my gosh, man.
Exist?
I don't know for certain.
Are you an expert in voter fraud?
No, I'm not.
Well, why then is Twitter right now putting purported warnings on virtually any statement about voter fraud?
We're simply linking to a broader conversation so that people have more information.
No, you're not. You put up a page that says, quote, voter fraud of any kind is exceedingly rare in the United States.
Yes. And look, I need to show this. I need to show this real quick. Let's see if it's still down here. Right here. Right here. Here's what I wrote. And if you're not following me, I don't post very often on Twitter, but when I do, it's typically pretty good. It's typically pretty good, guys. I said, if simply linking to the broader conversation Why isn't Twitter putting disputed labels under tweets insisting there's no voter fraud? Directing people to articles, analysis, whistleblowers, audio, video evidence of tampering. It's a drop the mic question, guys. It's a drop the mic question. I just nuked the daylights out of this because it's simple. If you're linking to a broader conversation, then why aren't they also, when people say there is no voter fraud, why aren't they putting labels under that saying that that too is disputed? Why aren't they directing people to articles? They're out there. We show them on the show. To analysis. It's out there. We show them on the show. Whistleblowers. Audio, like Detroit leaks. Video, like one after another that we've seen of the shenanigans that have gone on around the country. Keeping away poll watchers. Filling in little dots. Dot after dot after dot. Ripping up ballots. Coming into the counting center. Coming in late at night. Under darkness of night. And they come in and they bring a whole bunch of boxes of some ballots. And we don't know the chain of custody. We don't know who those people are. There's nobody there monitoring it. The video of the lady, man, where was that, man? She's downstairs by herself, punching in the numbers. Bleep, bloop, bleep, bloop, blop. Over and over and over. Media comes in. Media's recording. They ain't there to question. They're not there to do their job. They're there to peddle, which is now, sadly, their job. Not the job of journalists, the job of propagandists. It's what they are. It's what they do. And they're out there to say, look, the authority came in and she's taking care of the business. And you're like, was anybody watching what she's doing? She's a partisan. And the answer as to why Twitter doesn't do this, why is it that tweet after tweet of the president has disputed, and you go, and it's not there to talk about, to say like, well, here's my opinion. No. And here's my answer. Because it's not a conversation at all. Jack Dorsey lied. It is not a conversation. It is a hard stop. It is a hard stop. It's a psychological mechanism. It's a psychological mechanism because normies, right? I'm not meaning to dog normies, right? Entirely. I mean, the world's made up of a lot of them. You know, but people who, they don't think very much. They'll go and they'll read something like that and it's a hard stop and they'll say, look, you know, there's a reason. Why is Twitter doing that to him all the time? It would be easy to fall prey to that technique, to that mechanism of mind control, of social engineering. It's how it works, guys. There's data on this kind of stuff. And so you sit there and you're like, that's why. Because contrary to what he said, and if you want to know how that's true, let's look at the definition of conversation. A talk between two or more people in which thoughts, feelings, and ideas are expressed, questions are asked and answered, or news and information is exchanged. In this case, it is directly and exclusively reserved for the people who are making a statement to say, there's a lot of shenanigans going on. There's a lot of hijinks going on. There's a lot of this craziness happening, and we've got it all over the place. We have analysts on it. We've got examples of video that cast into doubt the reliability of these machines, the reliability of the poll workers, the reliability of those boxes of ballots outside. And what do? They hard stop that one. So whenever Biden and whenever anyone on the left who is out there saying cope, any of these people, whenever they're out there saying, oh no, it's perfectly fine, you guys are saying there's a problem, and there's no problem, Twitter and Facebook never will put it at the bottom. YouTube too, they'll never put it at the bottom to say, oh, here, this is disputed, and to then go and show the disputed claims. They won't do it. Because it's not a conversation, it's a hard stop. Jack Dorsey lied under oath. Flat, end of story. End of story. Now, maybe he would like to have a conversation about that. Maybe he would like to have a conversation. You know, I made a claim, he made a claim. You know, maybe they can put disputed under both people. Maybe they could do that. They won't. They won't. They should put a disputed underneath him. And how many tweets, by the way, are not disputed? Look at the selective nature of what they do and ask, why that selection? Why that angle? Why those people? Why that cause? if in principle it would apply to many more. Russ Ramsland of the Allied Security Operations Group joined Lou Dobbs on Tuesday night to discuss the Michigan presidential election, confirmed the vote was fraudulent, and he has proof. You can go check it out. We're running out of time. We're running out of time. I'm going to try to blow through some of this here. Oh, yeah. Okay. Remember here, I told you that I was a little bit rude, right, about a guy who sent me a link to a Guardian article and was saying that there is no stolen vote. Okay, and the DHS came out with a statement. And remember, I compared it to the claims that were made that all the intelligence agencies on the assessment, that they all signed on. And we came to find out later, phony baloney, and we have good reason to believe phony baloney over here, that claimed that our election was totally secure. And here's the thing. Then we found out it wasn't actually DHS. It was an advisory committee to DHS. More than that, guess who was a member of that committee? Dominion Voting Systems. Oh my gosh, man. Yeah, Jeff Carlson says Dominion is a member of council that disputed election integrity concerns in DHS statement. Dominion Voting Systems used the statement, which obscured company's council membership. Dude. Oh my gosh. And that's why you just gotta wait. You just gotta wait, guys. You gotta wait. You can't play the game like the left does, where number one, their authority bias is crazy. Their authority bias is nuts, man. But you gotta say, look, these groups, by the way, and even to them, and this is how you gotta frame it. You gotta say, even to you, Mr. Lefty guy, and maybe not the people who support the Uniparty, because those people exist. Right, they're on the left and the right. So you've got the Lincoln Project. You've got William Crystal. You've got people like that. Nowadays, more and more, Fox News. So you've got those people, but you have them on the left too. But then you have people on the left, the more progressive left, that's been the anti-war left in the past. They gave up on that cause with Donald Trump because he didn't give them a lot to really protest about. And so they just ignored it. And they did worse than ignore it. They completely changed gears on it. But you got to remind them. You have to play into their idea and say, look, even on your own assumptions, you can say, well, you have doubted the reliability of the FBI, the CIA. You have doubted and, in fact, been against the idea that these groups have anything in your interest. You understand and you know what is meant by the phrase deep state. You know what is meant by the military-industrial complex. You know. And so, you have to be able to show this and say, look at the way this goes. Would you accept that? What would you do if it was in reverse? How would you play that? You'd be outraged. You'd say, look at the conflict of interest. And I would say, yes, look at the conflict of interest. Lastly, board refuses to certify Wayne County, Michigan, Detroit election results. That had to be updated. That had to be updated because is this the one here? No. That's not the one. We got to see this here. Where is it, man? Come on, dude. Come on, brother. Tell me I've got it. This is going to upset me if I don't have it, man. And it doesn't look like I've got it. I've got to show you guys. Hold on. We're going to go to the Gateway Pundit. Because I know that they showed it. There's a guy. There's a dude on the election board, on the certification board in Michigan. Telegraph's threat to GOP canvassers. Okay, so you've got this guy. I got to find it right here. Democrat Wayne County election observer threatened 2 Republican members who refused to certify ballots. I'm not even going to tell you what he said. I'm going to show you what he said. It is despicable.
That the Secretary of State and the Attorney General have already tweeted out that your legal arguments are rubbish and you're going to lose when it comes to court. So
who cares, by the way? A partisan A partisan said it's rubbish. A partisan said you're going to lose. A partisan who endorsed the opposition in the court. So what, champ? Your logic, by the way, sucks, dude. It's transparent and see-through. I'm already really ticked off because I've seen this before. I saw it last night. I know what's coming your way, and I hope this just drives you nuts. This guy would never say that, by the way, if he was face-to-face. And if he did, he doesn't understand how people like us operate. He talks like that to my face, I'm taking him down. Blam! I still believe in fighting words, bro. I still believe in fighting words. And what he says here, you're going to hear it. Fighting words. Big time. Big time.
We're not worried about that at all. I'm also not worried about any of your, things are bad so we can't certify arguments, because that's just ridiculous. You certified in August when they were worse. Less than 50% of the ballots are recountable. Now over 72% are. 58% of them are even balanced when it was less than 30% last time. So it's doubled. It's gotten way better because the Secretary of State actually jumped in and did her job, unlike you. But I know it's not going to change your opinion. You talked about not certifying Detroit, even though you acknowledged that Livonia, a city, by the way, I know you know is 95% white, had bigger variances than Detroit, which is 80% black. We understand, and you've now added your name. So I'm not going to try to change your mind. I just want to let you know that the Trump stink, the stain of racism that you, William Hartman, and Monica Palmer have just covered yourself in is going to follow you throughout history.
This guy's demonic. This guy's demonic. He's not even just bad. He's a full raging, full-blown, venomous demon. He's a demon. He's probably, look, I don't like throwing this stuff around, but the truth is, you can hear oppression, man. You can hear oppression in his voice, and you can see it. You can hear it when he talks about it's going to follow you the rest of your life. This guy, he's one of those people. He's one of those people that believes in making hell on earth for the people he disagrees with. Not just uncomfortable, not just disagreement. He wants that person to literally be tortured for the remainder of their life. Maybe even on the streets. Maybe even on the streets, maybe homeless. Everywhere they go, people throwing stuff at them. And how many Hail Marys there, champ? How many Hail Marys? What do they got to do? Ned Stabler. You need to kind of become a little bit stabler yourself. Ned. How many Hail Marys, bro? Where do you got to go? Where do you got to go? What would it take, by the way? You're a cultist, dude. You are a cultist. You are a freaky deek cult leader. It's what you are. Probably some spirit cooking weirdo, dude. Probably some spirit cooking weirdo. And here's the thing. These guys, this entire cult, the woke cult, open your eyes, everybody. Oh my gosh. Open your eyes. See all the vision. The Great Reset is coming. We're part of it. And if you don't agree with it, we are going to absolutely malign you in ways that are the most ridiculous, ungodly, and diabolical ways that we possibly can. It's what it is. It's what it is. Oh, and he ain't done. He ain't done.
Your grandchildren are going to think of you like Bull Connor or George Wallace. Monica Palmer and William Hartman will forever be known in southeastern Michigan as two racists who did something so unprecedented that they disenfranchised.
They should have shut off his freaking mic. They should have shut it off. They should have said, look, dude, you are way over the line. This is like not remotely close to how people operate. This guy, you can only imagine how he is in private. He's a real freak. He's a real freak, probably into some really messed up junk. That's what I'm saying. Probably a spirit cooker. Probably thinks it's great. He's a New World Order. But Money Down says he's all about the Great Reset. And he's willing to drive people into the ground. And if you say that to my face, if you were sitting there talking to my face, Ned, and me and you were talking, we would have fisticuffs. That's just the way that works, bro. That's just the way that works. Man to man. Man to man, I would sock you, bro. I would sock you. Money Down. You know what? I wonder, man. I wonder where he lives. I wonder if he's living in one of those, white marriages with the, pretty white homes in the pretty white neighborhoods with pretty white picket fences and schools that have pretty white everywhere. I wonder. Maybe not. Maybe he's, maybe he's living, in the slums. You never know.
Franchise hundreds of thousands of black voters in the city of Detroit because they were ordered to. Probably, I know, Monica, you think Q told you to do it or some other crazy stuff like that. But just know when you try to sleep tonight, that millions of people around the world now on Twitter know the name Monica Palmer and William Hartman as two people completely racist and without an understanding of what integrity means or a shred of human decency.
No idea of integrity. No idea of human decency. After I just vomited a bunch of diarrhea all over the place on the internet to try to get my way. Sucker. Seriously, guys, what's wrong with this guy? What's wrong with this guy? He's obviously, think, how deep is the Trump derangement syndrome? And this guy is coming off pretty strong, folks. He's definitely one of those Play-Doh rolling, bubble blowing guys. Definitely no question about that.
The law isn't on your side. History won't be on.
The law's not on your side. You can go screw yourself. We'll wait to find out. We will wait to find out because cookies are going to crumble, my man. Cookies are going to crumble. And, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Like, he's jumping the gun on all this stuff. It's not on your side. History's going to do this. Wow, dude, are you some kind of oracle? Are you some kind of oracle? You got some magic crystal ball, dude, in that house of yours? The guy's a joke. Wow. Seeing visions of the future. I know how it's going to play out. I know the way that history is going to view you. No, you know how the cult views everybody who disagrees with you. Because you're in a cult, dude. An indoctrination cult, man. You are. It is coming off strong, dude. It's radiating off you, man. It's grotesque. It's grotesque. And again, it's demonic.
On your side, your conscience will not be on your side. And Lord knows, when you go to meet your maker, your soul is going to be very, very warm.
Listen to that. Listen to that, man. This guy right here believes, probably, Money Down says he believes in murdering babies. Money Down says he believes in murdering babies. Money Down says that he believes that Desmond is amazing. Money Down says he probably likes watching Cuties. Probably thought Cuties was perfectly fine, and that it's a anti-Semitic conspiracy to come against the idea that children are being objectified and children are being used in really sexual ways. Probably. And he sits there and he dares to talk about hell. I'd almost wonder, does he actually even believe in it? And because in his weird made-up religion, because he's obviously not traditional in his religious views. There's just no way. The guy's a cultist, man. Probably a coexist weirdo. Believing in pee-pee and the poo-poo stuff. Believing that boys aren't boys and girls aren't girls. Believing that it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine that we don't pay any attention to the kind of behavior done by the Bidens. That we don't pay any attention to the crack smoking driving around that was going on with that. Don't look at it, guys. Don't look at it. He's probably perfectly fine with all that drag crap. Probably all the drag kid crap. And of course, he's down with abortion. And so this guy is just, he's a wigwam of really, really messed up crap. He's a wigwam of messed up junk. And you got to feel for him. But he puts on a good show. If he actually believes that stuff, again, this is stuff he would never dare say to the face of the people he's speaking to. Certainly not that woman's husband. Because Money Down says, if Home Slice here was saying that kind of stuff in front of that woman and her husband, that husband would pull some WWE stuff in him. You don't see me, blam! It's the way it goes. It's the rough and tumble, champ. Words have consequences, dude. Words have consequences. And don't you feel super nice and safe in that home of yours over the internet to say some of the most outlandish things, to say some of the most offensive things. But guys, the point is this is exactly what we can expect, not just of people like him, but people all over. Very hard. Okay, it's going to be coming. In fact, it's already here. We're late to the game. Guys. Unbelievable. Barbara says, guess what? Everything, plant, animal, and humans die. Down here in this world, mortality is a given. In hope, we will pass the judgment and get to enter St. Peter's Gate. Yes. That's a good word, by the way. Love that. I heard that video earlier. What that guy said, it's completely disgusting. This is by Night Shift. Glad to see you, by the way, Night Shift. The racism card the Democrats pull, that one, where they are on their back foot, is suspicious. What he's saying, of course, yes. What the guy's saying, very, very, very suspicious. He admits that it's hard to pray for people, especially this kind. God forgive me. And you know what, dude? I'm glad you brought that up because it's true. You know, there has to be a balance, you know. There's a golden mean here that sits there and says, you know, we can talk about the different ways you can deal with those who oppose you. We have to be able to meet them where they are. We're not pacifists here. Okay, we're not sitting there. We're not the type of people that are going to sit and watch as a wife is getting raped or a kid is getting raped and sit there and say, well, on principle, I would hate to intervene in that. No, that's when you literally kick that dude's butt from here to China. It's true. It's when you leave a message for the world all over that guy's face. So you have to be able to deal with certain situations. I'm not a pacifist when it comes to war, and I've said for a long time that we're in a cold civil war, and then I got to the point where I said it's not even cold anymore, it's just straight up hot. We're there right now. We're there right now, and if you don't see it coming, you're not watching. It's a frightening thing. Nobody wants to say what I'm saying. People don't even want to hear it. People are like, please don't say this. Make it the lollipop stuff. Make it the cotton candy stuff. Make it so we simply aren't afraid. But the truth is, man, there's good reason to be afraid. And God didn't accidentally allow this stuff to happen to where we have that reaction. It's self-preservation. It can go out of control. There's good fear and there's bad fear. But you have to just simply know. And you have to know that this isn't the world that's coming. This is the world that's here right now. That guy felt very comfortable saying all the things that he said. He didn't bat an eye. When he was done, I bet you he thought he was great. And I bet you there's tons of people, in fact, probably millions around the world, who've shared that, praising what he's done. And they're not just going. That guy, he's directing that at specific people, but you have to understand the connection that you have to those people. I do. I wear the hat. I wear the hat and I put myself on the line. Because you have to be willing to stand in the gap. A lot of people won't. And that's, look, the world's made up of all different people and all different interests. But if you're one of those people, man, that sits there and sees it, and you've got things on the line like children, church, the Constitution, this great republic, and you believe in this thing, you have to stand. You have to be willing to do what you can. And that doesn't mean, going door to door all over the place. But it means doing what you can. It means actually praying about it and asking the question, how many of you have prayed and said, God, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? You've made me for this life. You've made me, in fact, for this moment. What is the role that I ought to play? Why did you give me these gifts? Why did you give me these talents? Why are you allowing me to endure what I'm enduring? What is the lesson to be learned? And what is the responsibility to be embraced? What is it? Have you prayed? This show here is part of my prayer. It's in response to what I believe God has called me to do. And that's why I will not be afraid of people like him, the man foaming at the mouth, venomous. I'm not afraid of him. I will not be shut down in that way. They can try. There have been better people in this world, man, who've been hurt. Better people in this world who've been killed. Better people in this world who've had their entire lives ruined. And they're an example, by the way. They're an example realizing that we're not alone and that others have blazed the trail before us. Teresa says, dishonor on you, dishonor on the cow, dishonor on the whole family. Mushu. Yeah. Facebook user, diabolical. Totally true, isn't it? You could hear it, couldn't you? Couldn't you hear the hissing of hell in his voice? Mike says, I'm praying for you and your message to spread to the ears that need it. Bro, thank you very much, by the way, about that. I appreciate it, man. look, we're really happy no matter the size of the audience. We will give, you know, I used to say when I was a pastor, if there was one person in the audience, if I opened up the church door and somebody comes walking in and it's one person, I'm giving it everything I got. I'm giving it everything I've got, man, because that doesn't matter. Okay. But at the same time, would I love that this message gets out more and more and more, whether through my show or whether through others who are being inspired to give it everything they've got for the sake of their churches, their families, and this great republic? That doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me. In fact, I relish in it. I'm like, look, you know, I'm glad that the message is getting out. And I'm kind of glad, too, because we've been on the front lines for a long time. On the front lines of everything. Practically everywhere. Even the animal uprising. So I'm really grateful for all of you. My last comment I'll read. My tropical obsession. Funny how he hides behind a Zoom meeting. Totally, totally, totally true. All right, guys. We're going to close out. I love that song, by the way. I love that song. And I love this show every single day. 10 to, I don't know, 1. 10-ish to 1-ish. It'll eventually get back to 10 to noon. Maybe. We'll see. I enjoy talking. For more, you gotta go. PaleocratDiaries.com. For interviews, for speeches, and for all other inquiries, even hate mail, you can contact PaleocratDiaries@gmail.com. And of course, if you want to share anything with us, make sure to check out our website, PaleocratDiaries.com. We have a Let's Chat section over there. That goes straight to me. There's no gatekeepers in my world. You come straight to me. And of course, remember, check out Paleo Cheese Podcast. New episode posted recently. Tons of fun. Go check out Meaning of Catholic. And of course, check out Holy Faith Media. I love you guys. It's been a great day. I hope you have the best day. Rock it out for the Lord. And remember, never give up. Keep on smiling. And memento mori. If I don't talk into microphones, I don't make that mad cash. Making all that money. Making that mad loot, right?
Mind control.
So we see the minority elite imposing their ideology on an unwilling and resentful populace. This causes a backlash. People get ticked off. The left is working long and hard to make us feel as if we've done something wrong. Worse yet, that we are the problem. Don't let people just rip on your heritage. Don't let people just rip on your traditions. Don't let people rip on your heroes. Stand up for what you believe, what made you who you are. So unless this disenfranchised majority begins standing up for what they believe in their heart of hearts to be true, I think we'd be left with nothing more than a dirge and maybe a funeral procession.